ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणि निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome to all of you for today's session. So today we are going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 19th chapter from sloka number 15 onwards. We are seeing the battle between Hiranyaksha and Lord Varaha. And today we'll finish this chapter, and also in the next chapter we'll reach till 20th sloka. So by that, so we'll be having another 30 slokas, 30, I think 33 for tomorrow. And also today's class, so there is no much explanation from Acharyas. So particularly Srila Viswanath Thakur, and also small purports are there. So we'll finish that, and we quickly can reach our target. So quite this is an easy section. Easy means it doesn't need so much explanations. So we'll discuss some few points in parts. But philosophically, we don't have much to discuss. Till 14 we finished in yesterday's class. Yes. So in yesterday's class we have seen Hiranyaksha was releasing trident. So Trishul, he was releasing Trishul, and it was looking like a fire with big flames. So many flames. It was very. So Lord is counteracting that by using his chakra. Chakrana chicheda nishata nemina harir yatha takshapata takshapatatra mujjitam. So like how Garuda was releasing once just a feather. So from his wings, the same way, so very easily contracted. Sudarshan Chakra contracted this. So from there onwards, we are going to read. रुक्ने स्वशूले बहुधारिणा हरे प्रत्येत्य विस्तीर्णमुरो विभूतिः प्रवृद्धरोषा सकोरमुष्टिना नदन् प्रहत्यान्तरधीयतासुरः. The demon was enraged when his trident was cut to pieces by the disc of personality of Godhead. He therefore advanced toward the Lord and roaring aloud struck his hard fist against the Lord's broad chest, which bore the mark of Srivatsa. Then he went out of sight. He gave one fist and disappeared. Purport. Srivatsa is a call of white hair on the chest of the Lord, which is special sign of his being the personality of Godhead. In Vaikuntha Loka or in Gola Vrindavan, the inhabitants are exactly of the same form as the personality of Godhead, but by the Srivatsa mark on the chest of the Lord, he is distinguished from all others. Even one get the Sarupya Mukti, so then there is no Srivatsa mark and also there is no Kaustubhavani. This will not be there. So other Vishnu forms we can see. So those are all jivas they can get, but they cannot become Narayana. So becoming Narayana is not possible by jiva. Make it similar form. Similar means there is a difference. So if you say one, then there is no difference. So jivatma can get similar form, but it cannot become Narayana itself. So Veda always existing. So Abheda, complete, absolute, Atyantik Abheda is not possible between Jiva and Narayana. And Jiva is also having its own existence, and Narayana is also having existence, but Jivatma's existence is because of the existence of the Lord. So in this way, it can get maximum of the similar kind of the form. But sometimes we are hearing our Vaishnavas are also following some sadhus in Vrindavan, and so those sadhus are saying, so Nara can become Narayana. And also saying Jivatma is Antakarna Pratibhimbita Chaitanyam. And finally, so we all become Narayana. It's very difficult to understand this philosophy with the mood of the that means serving the Lord and also so much prema is being explained. How it is possible actually? Both are contradictory. So that's why many times you might be hearing from the sadhus so much wonderful, so sweet pastimes from their mouth. Actually, they might be saying actually wonderfully narrating the loving relationships between the devotees, between the Radharani, Srimati Radharani and the Lord. But you have to see what is their philosophy actually. If philosophy is not proper, then this kind of narrations they use just to for the sake of just focusing their mind and then finally they want to become Narayana. Other sometimes most of the people nowadays in the market, so thus the narrators, they just look for the how to attract the audience. So how to beautifully describe the narrations and attract some time and give the some pleasure like the watching movies. There are no meaning in the movies actually. Simply they build some concept and based upon that they try to show the relationship between hero and heroine and like that some comedy and some rasas they try to produce and but there is no proper so dharma or anything. The same way here nowadays the kathakars also like that. So just how to attract the public, that is the goal for them. So, but philosophy is no. So without philosophy, its narrations are baseless actually. So that's why you have to understand deeply philosophy. Philosophy should be because under the structure of philosophy only, so one should build the story also. So even if you see when you explain the example Jai Vijaya story, you cannot speculate the way you want actually. You cannot bring the some things which are just to attract the people's attention and to make them feel happy. So they are also innocent, and you cannot. So without the statement or without the any narrations not backed up by the proper Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, you cannot say that point. So this like example we have seen Jay and Vijaya. Their Asura Bhava is only Abhasa. So they are not really becoming the so Asuras. So such a subtle points and also now falling of the so slipping this club from the Lord's hand and how to see. So those things actually very systematically the philosophy whatever is explained by our acharyas. So based upon that only we should speak actually because of sometimes we are unaware also. Many times we hear from the stories here and there nowadays because market is available so much through YouTube and we are hearing so many stories and feeling so nice and started giving that to our devotees also. Many people are doing this and they are reducing the standards of our temples and our actually in our society the standards of philosophy is going utterly like anything. So many small temples also the preachers that means we are sitting on the Vyasasana, they are not being observed by anyone. So we have good standards for the many things, but there is no proper monitoring for what they are speaking actually and how they are deviating from their philosophy. The strict so monitoring is not happening. Because of this, unknowingly there is a dilution is happening and a lot of contamination. It is extremely entering into the movement. Because many small areas that we are also having nowadays. So some small centers and outposts and like that. So there, so people also they what they are speaking and what they are teaching, monitoring is not going on much. And everyone that means nobody is there. Even the new person, he doesn't know what Bhagavatam and nothing, and sitting and keep on the hard ride actually. So yeah, both it's not a good thing actually. By this, I mean innocent they are sitting, they think that this is the philosophy of Gaudiya Vaishnavas and our Sampradaya, this is the thing. And sometimes I heard, actually, I have seen with my eyes, such as speakers, they are sitting and they don't know who is the Guru Maharaj of Srila Prabhupada. And name also they don't know, and they took Diksha also. And such a horrible standards are going down. So then what those innocents, they will be taking Diksha and also they know, yes, we are also so connected to our Iskcon. And then after that, because they have from the day one habit of hearing here and there, so they are hearing the same things from the others also. After a few years, they are going there, leaving this and they are going there because of reduction of the standards. So we should be careful, and books are the basis. One should study thoroughly Srila Prabhupada books, and also one should study very thoroughly. So after a serious student has to study previous acharyas commentaries also. Srila Prabhupada himself is writing in the first canto, first chapter, in the first sloka commentary. The purpose is writing. A serious student has to study the previous acharyas commentaries to get the better relishment. So, but first foundation is should come from the books, Prabhupada books. Then after that, so like that, we have to boil the milk. Prabhupada said many times, milk has to be boiled, then only it will be tasty. Expansion is also needed, but the monitored, checked expansion is needed. With just the out of the passion, we want to increase, we are increasing. But if you don't monitor that how it is condensed, there will be no taste actually. If you keep on adding water to milk, then what will happen after a few days? There will be only milk. So only water. There will be no milk actually. So milk content will not be there. The same way. So after a few years in our movement, maybe number will be there, but the pure devotees and their association will not be there. More neophytes and lot of fights. This will be there. And our whole energy will go to make a systems to regulate that. When you train the people very thoroughly, and if you give proper philosophy and proper understanding of the missionary spirit, then they can easily cooperate each other. But when they have the little knowledge and they are all taking the various positions, and if they come together, so everyone is having their own mental speculation instead of following this astra. And that will lead to what? So many differences and conflicts, and to reduce that, lot of energy will go. And to make the systems, so many systems we should make for them to regulate. Then end of the day, we are having a lot of systems, but without quality. And people also less quality people. This should not. That's why Prabhupada was very much worried. In 1970s, he was saying, now the time for boiling the milk. So that is one of the important point we should understand. We should not deviate from our philosophy. And no philosophy is better than us. There is no doubt in that. Achintya Bheda Bheda is the topmost philosophy. All other Vaishnava philosophies also, they has to finally become complete by accepting the features of Achintyatvam, Bheda and Abheda. If you see other Vaishnavas also, they have only few. If you see Dvaitins, they have only Bheda. And if you see Vishishtadvaita, there is no emphasis of so much. So Bheda actually. Achintyatvam is missing in there. So only Vishishta Advaitam, when you say Vishishta means it is a qualified, so Abheda. So Advaita means Abheda. Qualified when you say there is a Bheda is also accepted by them. So that means in their philosophy, Bheda, Abheda, one more feature is there extra. But the point is what? There is no Achintyatvam in there. So, but if you see Swabhavika Veda Veda, there also only Swabhavika is said, not the Achintya. And if Suddha Advaita, so they are also, the Vallabhacharyas follow there, Suddha Advaita. Advaita is more emphasized. But our philosophy is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so gave the three things, Achintyatvam, Bheda and Abheda, and which is going to accommodate all the Sruti statements very nicely actually. And we don't need to so take the secondary meanings of any Sruti slokas, Sruti Vakyas, and we can directly interpret and directly understand through this philosophy. So that's why this is the topmost philosophy, and also we are all aiming at the Ujjala Rasa. So rasa wise also, if you see, is the topmost rasa. The Rupanugas, we want to be servants of Rupa Goswami, where he's relishing the Ujjvala rasa, and we are the aspirants of the Ujjvala rasa. Rasa wise, we are top. Philosophy wise, we are top. And books also there. Innumerable books are there. Uncountable books are there by our acharyas, but we are so lazy. And we are the most actually neglecting our literature. दादाजी का संपत्ति बहुत है लेकिन भोगने वाला कोई नहीं. तो परदादी जी इतना दिए हैं. So if you see, so Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, all six Goswamis. Then after that, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baldev Vidyabhushan, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So many books they wrote to describe our philosophy in detail and to make us to not to be ignorant of so any kind of points actually. To clear everything, they wrote the books. And Srila Prabhupada himself wrote the more than, so how many? 120? Like that maybe. So many books were written, and we should that's why give a lot of time for understanding this philosophy. Books are basis, that's why. Without properly, that means based of, if our foundation is not strong, that means base is the books. Understanding of that literature is not so strong, then we cannot continue this movement for long. That will be very difficult actually. Okay, thank you very much. So next, तेने तमाहत क्षत्तर भगवानादिसुकरः न कंपता मन क्वापि स्रजा हत इव द्विपः. Hit in this manner by the demon, O Vidura, the Lord, who had appeared as the firstborn, didn't feel the least quacking in any part of his body, any more than an elephant would when struck with a wreath of flowers. And he gave a fist actually. What is the reaction from the Lord? Nothing actually, like flowers falling on an elephant. How it was like that. And he disappeared. Also, Hiranyaksha disappeared. They are all having a lot of magic. So black magic and also Shuddra Shaktis. So cheap. That means Shakti in Tamoguna. So magics they do. So magical way he disappeared. Prabhupada is writing the purport here. As previously explained, the demon was originally a servitor of the Lord in Vaikuntha. But somehow or other he fell as a demon. His fight with the Supreme Lord was meant for his liberation. The Lord enjoyed the striking on his transcendental body, just like a fully grown up father fighting with his child. Sometimes a father takes pleasure in having a mock fight with his small child. And similarly, the Lord felt Hiranyaksha's striking on his body to be like flowers offered for worship. In other words, the Lord desired to fight in order to enjoy his transcendental bliss. Therefore, he enjoyed the attack. This is enjoyment only. This is all Viri Rasa. So without having all these, how Viri Rasa can be so achieved actually. So these are all needed. So that means getting some strike from the enemies, the opponent, that should be there. Next, अथोरुदासृजन् मायां योगमायेश्वरे हरौ यां विलोक्य प्रजास्त्रस्ता मेनिरेस्योपसंयमम्. The demon, however, employed many conjuring tricks against the personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of Yogamaya. At the sight of this, the people were filled with alarm and thought that the dissolution of the universe was near. What he did actually, Hiranyaksha disappeared. So the demon employed many conjuring tricks against the personality of Godhead. So he started playing the tricks. That means big, big winds blowing and so many things happening. So people all are thinking that maybe it is the final time. It's a devastation time, dissolution time of dissolution of the universe. They were thinking like that. But he is showing his magic in front of the Lord who is possessing the Yoga Maya. Purport the fighting enjoyment of the Supreme Lord with his devotee, who had been converted into a demon, appeared severe enough to bring about the dissolution of the universe. This is the greatness of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even though wavering of his little finger appears to be a great and very dangerous movement in the eyes of the inhabitants of the universe. Next. प्रभवर्वायुश्चाण्डा तमः पांसवमैरयन् दिव्यो निपेतुर्ग्रावाण क्षेपणौ प्रहिता इव क्षेपणै. Fierce winds began to blow from all directions, spreading darkness occasioned by dust and hailstorms. Stones came in volleys from every corner as if thrown by machine guns. Machine guns. So this is it's looking like a final dissolution time. It is looking like that. So many winds are blowing and darkness covered everything. Dust is raising up. Storms are coming. So this kind of tricks he played actually, Hiranyaksha, because he was not able to defeat Lord. So finally he disappeared and started creating all these invisible now. He is invisible. Daurnashtabhagana दौर्नष्टभगणा प्रौघैः सविद्युस्तनयुग्नुभिः वर्षद्भिः पूयकोशासृग्वीन् मूत्रस्तीनि च सकृत्. The luminaries in outer space disappeared due to the skies being overcast with masses of clouds, which were accompanied by lightning and thunder. The sky rained pus, hail, blood, stool, urine, and bones. These are all magic actually. So he was showing all these things. So that enemy can get scared. And he wants to create fear in the Lord's heart. But Lord is what? He is a Kalarupa. Time is also his form. And he wants to give fear to him. गिरयः प्रत्यदृश्यन्ता नानायुधमुचो नखा दिग्वाससो यातु धन्या शूलिन्यो मुक्तमोदजाः. O sinless Vidra, mountains discharge weapons of various kinds, and naked demonesses, what is that? Demonesses armed with trident appeared with their hair hanging loose. There's a naked woman actually, demons, or female demon. So naked woman and they are having the hair like this and so having the tridents in their hands. They're all standing around to this Lord arena. And mountains also releasing so many weapons. And this first and so many things are falling. Winds are blowing. Complete darkness. By seeing demigods also getting fear actually by seeing all this. बहुभिर्यक्ष रक्षोभिः पत्यश्वारतकुञ्जरैः आततायिभिरुत्सृष्टा हिंस्रा वाचोति वैशसाः. Cruel and savage slogans were uttered by hosts of refined yakshas and rakshasas, who all either marched on foot or rode on horses, elephants, or chariots. They started saying these slogans. प्रादुष्कृतानां मायानाम् आसुरीणां विनाशयत् सुदर्शनास्त्रं भगवान् प्रायुङ्क्तदयितं त्रिपात्. The Lord, the personal enjoyer of all sacrifices, now discharged his beloved Sudarshana, which was capable of dispersing the magical forces displayed by the even famous yogis and demons can sometimes enact very magical feats by their mystic power. But in the presence of the Sudarshan Chakra, when it is let loose by the Lord, all such magical jugglery is dispersed. The instance of the quarrel between Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Ambarisha is a practical example in this matter. Durvasa Muni wanted to display many magical wonders, but when the Sudarshan Chakra appeared, Durvasa himself was afraid and fled to various planets for his personal protection. We have seen actually Durvasa when he got angry, thinking that Ambarish Maharaj violated without feeding guest, so he honored, so he ate. So like that he was thinking and he got angry. But actually that is wrong. So Durvasa doesn't know what Shastra is saying properly. By drinking water, it is equal to eating and also it is equal to not eating. So when Ambarish Maharaj drank water to do parana of his vrata, so that is equal to not eating also. Also it is equal to eating. So in this way, Ambarish Maharaj didn't violate. That means without feeding guest, he didn't eat. But Durvasa became unnecessarily angry and he released by removing his two heirs and from that he created a demon by this magic. But Ambarish Maharaj was not having any kind of fear. And also he doesn't want to counteract so Brahminical power. So this demon is created by a Brahmana. And Kshatriyas, they don't counteract the curse or whatever the uh, Brahma Shapam, that means given by the Brahmanas, the curse given by the Brahmanas, that cannot be counteracted by the Kshatriyas, a good Kshatriya. Because if Kshatriya make that curse violated or otherwise it's useless, then nobody will follow Brahmanas in the society. So that's why to give respect to the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, even they are having the ability, especially Vaishnavas. So we are having the ability to contract, but still they don't contract. Same you can see an example of Parishit Maharaj. What will happen? They want to set an example. If Brahmanas' words and Brahmanas' curses became vain, then who is going to respect Brahmanas? Nobody. Then what will happen? That means everyone start opposing Brahmanas. Then they are the head of the society, and if they are not being respected, then there is no good who can teach to the society. So those no will be there, no one will be there to teach good to the society. Then there is a ashram dharma is not the varna dharma is not followed, and there is a big chaos in the society. That's why the Kshatriyas, Vaishnava Kshatriyas, who have the ability, but he doesn't want. He doesn't want to counteract this. Okay, let it the demon come and kill me. But Lord already engaged Sudarshan to protect his devotee. And that's why this Sudarshan immediately came and destroyed that demon. So that is, and also you have to understand there, Ambarish Maharaj doesn't have any kind of bodily attachment and is completely surrendered to Lord and let it come, whatever it may. My Lord is there and he can protect. Even an inch, he didn't go back. But if you see the same, that means Sudarshan is hunting Durvasa, then Durvasa start ran actually. That is a position of the Brahmana. But that is and see the Vaishnava. There's a big difference between Brahmana and Vaishnava. So Vaishnavas are completely free from bodily designations. So one can be called as a Vaishnava. So he has to be free from bodily designations. Yes, yesterday we discussed. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparena nirmalatvam. Rishikena rishikesa sevanam bhakti ruchyate. Until unless if you don't come out from the bodily designations and surrender to the Lord fully, he cannot be called as Vaishnava. So becoming Vaishnava is not so easy, but we should become. So one should come out from all the bodily designations. Then only will be Vaishnava. That means Sarvadharman Paritijya Mamekam Sharanam. So that is the beginning of devotion. So when we complete from out of all the bodily designations, then our body, mind, senses all are engaged in the service of the Lord, then that is known as pure devotion. It completely, that means free from all the kinds of the attachments and so on, so all the designations. So one should be. So this is the pure devotion begins from there. And this is the endeavor. We are all endeavoring for that kind of, like how the Ambarish Maharaj and these great devotees. Even he is a king, he is not thinking that he is a king. He is always in the consciousness of I am servant of the Lord. Only to set an example to the society, he is playing that role. But what is his consciousness? All the time he is engaged directly devotional services of the Lord. Even sometimes if they do some kind of the kingly activities, so at that time also they continue their direct devotional activities because they are in the platform of pure devotion. That means they are in the platform of servant. I am the servant. So that's why being in that platform, they keep on doing the service in the form of thinking or the chanting or hearing like that.
Two things. One is Ambarish Maharaj had not given up Varnashram duties. How can he be called pure devotee according to your definition? Second is when Prabhupada was asked how many pure devotees are there, so how many devotees are there in Iskcon, that many pure devotees. How to understand this?
So Ambarish Maharaj, yeah, he is following kingly activities, being a king. That is only external to him. So, like example, one can do two things. Tasma sarveshu kaleshu mamanusvaritya. So in the case of Arjuna, also Lord is saying, he should remember me and also he should fight. Similarly, Ambarish Maharaj, he is having his own temple in his own house, in the palace. And he was always using his body, mind, senses. So all the time in the service of the Lord, direct services. Because he's, and also his ministers, all are the devotees. So he's always engaging and associating with the devotees. In this way, so even in the case of Bharata Maharaj, we can see in the Bhagavatam commentaries, Bharata Maharaj also all the time chanting the Lord's names, even if sometimes do. So the activities or the talks which are not involved with the Lord's names, at that time also is keep on. That means remembering the Lord. And activities whenever he does that, like example, he was doing the sacrifice, Rajasuyaga. At that time also he was seeing that means whenever he's Hindraya Swaha, he give the mantra uttering and giving the oblations, his consciousness is at that time thinking that this Indra is the arms of the Lord. So like that, every time, so every activity, so their activities, there they are seeing they are becoming the Krishna consciousness is there. That only these activities are yadidatarasi shrestha tattadevetaro. So janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanvartate. So only to set an example to the society they do. But neophytes, what they do karma and they offer. So like I am a Kshatriya, rather I am a Vaishya and I am producing grains and I offer that to the Lord. This is not direct devotion actually. This is, doing karma means you are disconnected at the time actually. In the bodily platform, one is acting and then after that, that activity by nature is not devotion. But that activity is result is offered to the Lord so that that activity also is becoming the so devotion. So that kind of devotion is not direct devotion, that is known as Aropa Siddha Bhakti. Bhakti is claimed on that. So that's why doing karma and offering is a neophyte state. That is not the pure devotional state actually. In the pure devotional state, there is no point of offering karma. In 64 limbs, there is no offering. So that's why in this way, these pure devotees, like example, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he is in the growth doesn't think that he is serving the body and the expansions of body. No, he is always so remembering Krishna, chanting, hearing, this kind of consciousness is there all the time. So that so his actions are directly connected to the Lord. And in this way, these Grihasthas and Pandavas and also Parikshit Maharaj, even Dhruva Maharaj, Prabhupada writes in the fourth canto, ninth chapter. So Dhruva Maharaj, 36,000 years he was given time to rule the whole world. At that time, 24 hours he is remembering Krishna like that Prabhupada writes. 24 hours, not a 1 hour, 2 hour, 24 hours he is Krishna conscious like that. And in the case of now, second question. Yeah, definitely because one, we all got the inspiration from our previous acharyas, and we are always bombarded in the purports with the 24 hours Krishna consciousness, 24 hours. That means direct devotion and pure devotional service coming out from all bodily designations and engage his mind, senses in the service of the Lord. So, like that, many purports are there. That means the seed of the pure devotion is given by Srila Prabhupada in his purports and also previous acharyas. So whoever is coming to this, so exposed to these books, and sincerely whoever studies this, that seed is given. Definitely one day it will be fructified and they will become all pure devotees. And Prabhupada also says, if I make one pure devotee, my life is successful. He says this also. And also everyone is pure devotee. And Prabhupada says in yesterday's class, we are reading the 1977 February 14. Becoming a Vaishnava is not so cheap actually. And why these followers are there? If it is so easy, then why these many followers are there? Who is asking? Prabhupada himself is asking actually to his disciples. This one sannyasi is five women, name is with her. So why it is happening? That's why Prabhupada is saying that there is a need to accept before entering into the pure devotional service. There is a need to accept. So this is the pure devotional service. Before that, we should accept the Daiva Varnashram. So that regulate the society. So pure devotional platform, whoever is there, definitely they can do 20 engage themselves in the direct devotional services and they are free from the karma because they submitted themselves fully to the Lord. Pure devotion begins with the full surrender. That means Shraddha means the symptom of Shraddha is full surrender. So pure devotion, then also Sarvopad Vinirmuktam, coming out from all the designations. So that is the basic qualification to do pure devotion. That's the definition of pure devotion also. Sarvopad Vinirmuktam. So that's why that is the beginning of the pure devotion. Whoever is really qualified to do that, they don't need to be so do any kind of karma. For them, varnashram is not needed. And they can do bhajana kriya and they can go back. But people who are not in that platform, and also that means they are not able to so surrender to the Lord fully. Still they have the faith on the other things than the Lord. And they are not able to so dependent on the Lord fully. So in that case, what? And they have dependency on the karma and other things also. And the family and other than Krishna, they are also depending on other things. And that life has to be regulated actually. Otherwise, if you give freedom for that, and if you say they are also pure devotees, they exploit the state of the pure devotion actually. And they misuse the state of the pure devotion and they violate, that means pure devotees beyond the all the rules and regulations of the Varnashram Dharma, and Dharma rules are not applied to them. So these people also take that provision and they say that we are not going to follow any Dharma. We are really free mix. So she is also pure devotee, I am also pure devotee, we all stay together. Like that, the present constitution is allowing. Na? Like that, in our constitution also there is a so misdirection will come actually. So that's why till that time, till they surrender fully to the Lord, till that time they has to be regulated actually. Certain dharma is needed. And that dharma should not dominate the bhakti. So that dharma is only the sake of to protect them from not to become sinful actually. But that dharma is not the goal of the life. So that using that dharma, we are regulating their life at the with the mood of so what achieving the pure devotion, entering into the pure devotional platform. So in this way, so Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this was saying actually. Before Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there is a lot of chaos in the society, in the Vaishnava society, because of the everyone is unqualified to the pure devotional platform and claiming that he is a pure devotee, and he started violating all the dharma rules because varnashram dharma is not needed, and then all the babajis they became babajis, not sannyasis, and they fully bring the whole society into nonsense. That means three dozens of women and one babaji, three dozens of women, and they it ended up with like that. And so much, that means Vaishnava behavior became so wrongly actually. And so many problems in the Vrindavan you can see. And that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur was got frustration. What is happening to Vaishnava society? And he said to his son, no, this is not going to, it is not right actually. They are unqualified people actually too. They are not pure devotees. They has to be regulated and properly monitored and properly, so make sure that they enter into the so pure devotion platform, they can become Vaishnava. So that's why Prabhupada is saying in the yesterday's class we have, if you all have time, so kindly hear that. So Brahmachari class we have did 2:30 to 5 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2:30 to 5. So there in that we are discussing so many points actually with this diagram. Also, I explained how this diagram is uh, is constructed based upon the philosophy. Then how to see. So this is going to explain all the scriptures, bhakti, jnana, karma, everything can be easily explained through this. And also, what is the need of what is eligibility and pure devotion is what, how to enter and why. And Srila Prabhupada also. So how the same things we are seeing from the Srila Prabhupada also, and also our missionary spirit, everything is being explained. So if you have time, so please hear that video. We'll share in your group. So Sir Prabhupada is also saying in that 1977 February 14th conversation with Sat Sarup Maharaj and also Harishavi Prabhu. There we are seeing that Prabhupada is saying to become Vaishnava, we need to have dharma. But dharma is not the goal of our life. So, but others they think that that means so artha jignasu artharthi gnani. In their case, they till the end of the death they will be following the dharma and finally they want to go to the Vaikunta. That is not the our spirit actually. Our spirit is coming out from all the kind of body designations and entering into the pure devotion. So that's why this is the mood of our mission of the our acharyas. We should come to the full understanding of mission, and every activity is there to achieve this. So there should be a wholesome idea of the whole mission for everyone. So then there is no conflicts, and then there is no problems. Then our energy also properly will be channelized, and that mission also should be backed up with the philosophy, previous acharyas, current acharya, and also everything should be properly justified. In that way, we should understand whole thing, and we should all work. That means serve together. Then there is a great so result can become. So the Lord is described here as Tripad, which means that he is the enjoyer of three kinds of sacrifices. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord confirms that he is the beneficiary and enjoyer. So Yajnanam aham sarva bhokta actually. So Yajnanam sarvanam aham bhokta. So he is the bhokta of the all the yajnas. And also this is yajna, varaha. Varaha is what? Is is a personification of yajna. So yajna rupa, varaha is yajna rupa we have seen in the 13th chapter. Is a four legs are the chaturhotram. That means these sages are seeing Varaha. That means there he is a personification of the Yajna, and that's why all the sages who are glorifying the inhabitants of the Satyaloka, Tapoloka, and Janaloka. When Vajnavaraha appeared, all they are glorifying. Na? How they are seeing Lord? So they are seeing in the form of the So yajna, like the gopis, how they see Lord, they see as a lover, and mothers how they see the Lord, they see the son. Like that, these the inhabitants of so Satya, Tapo, and Janaloka Vasis, they are seeing like yajna. And his legs are the Chaturhotram, and his mouth is this, and his skin is like that. Many names, Ida, like that. There are different spoons. His tusk is like different spoons, like that. Is being explained. So that Lord is described here as Tripath, and he is also enjoyer of the all the yajnas. The Lord is the enjoyer of three kinds of yajna. Is further described in Bhagavad Gita. There are sacrifices of goods, sacrifices of meditation, sacrifices of philosophical speculation. Those on the path of Jnana Yoga and Karma all have to come in the end of Supreme Lord because Vasudeva Sarvamiti. We have seen in the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita different types of sacrifices. So all those, so these jnanis they follow. So they will be doing the yajna of that means ahuti. They are giving all the senses. They are giving ahuti of senses in the Atma Gnanam. Like that, many we have seen. So Lord is the enjoyer of all the yajnas, and Lord is, everyone should realize finally, Vasudeva Sarvamiti. The Supreme Lord is the ultimate enjoyer of everything. That is the perfection of all sacrifices. In every sacrifice, Purna Ahuti will be given to Vishnu only. So he is the final destiny of so all the Ahutis. And he is the final enjoyer and Supreme Lord. Next, Tadadite Samabhavat Sahasa Hrudive Patuhu Smarantya Barturadesham Sthana Cha Sakru Prasususruve. At that very moment, the shudder suddenly ran through the heart of Diti, the mother of Hiranyaksha. She recalled the words of her husband Kashyapa and blood flowed from her breast. Now time came. बच्चा का अभी time आ गया. That's when from mother's breast blood is started flowing. Lord is going to kill now. This is a connection is there. No? Mother senses actually if some harm is happening to the child because of her deep attachment. So, so there is some kind of sensation. So now Mother Diti started feeling, that means so pain and blood is started flowing. Generally, Prabhupada is writing in the purport, so we can read that. At Hiranyaksha's last moment, his mother Diti remembered what her husband had said. Already, so Kashyapa also said that because of this bad activity, what you did, and a bad activity, anyway, both did. He didn't stop her with strong words actually. He could have done that, na Kashyapa. Prabhupada is also writing in the purport actually, but he didn't do that. So being a husband, he could have say strongly, then she will be immediately come out from that lusty desires. But he didn't do. So softly he spoke, then everything. Anyway, that's the Lord's plan anyway. Huh? So Lord wanted Jaya Vijaya to take birth as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So they would have advantage of being killed by personality of Godhead. She remembered this incident by the grace of the Lord. So same thing Kashyapa also said, he will be killed by the Lord, and her breast flowed. So why she is able to remember now? Because so that is the grace of the Lord is there. That's why she is able to remember now his son is being killed, and also she is remembering Kashyapa's words. And her breast flowed blood instead of milk. In many instances, we find that when mother is moved by affection for her sons, milk flows from her breast. In the case of the demons, mother, the blood couldn't transform into milk, but it flowed down her breast as it was. In the case of demons, actually, yeah, actually, blood only will make a milk. Mother is feeding her blood to a child, and she is keeping for 9 months. So in her womb and supplying everything, and she is protecting. Then after that coming out, also she is giving her blood in the form of milk and feeding the baby. So that's why one should have definitely respect his mother. Even if we are devotees, So they should respect their parents and their mother and father. It's very important. Because of this body only we are doing service. Ultimately, we should dependent on Krishna. But there should be respect for even a living entity. Small ant also devotee should respect. In the case of Jadabartha, you have seen. Then what to speak of mother who has given birth to you? So, but brahmacharis, they should not mistreat their parents actually. They should not harsh and they should not so blame them or they should not scold them and they should not so disrespecting that should not be done actually. The respect always should be there in the heart. Otherwise, it is very bad. So we are not in the human platform also in that case. So devotee means he is respecting even an ant actually. Then what to speak of mother, his own mother. So because she is feeding us by their blood actually. And that blood only is becoming the milk and we are drinking. Similarly, mother cow also. So cows also has to be protected. And we are drinking milk every day, but we don't have any kind of respect and affection for that. And every day by day, the population is reducing very drastically. And we are not concerned about that. So that is also not good. Without cows, there is no possibility of spirituality. Prabhupada says many times, spiritual life will become impossible. So as much as cows are disappearing, the mode of goodness will be finished in the society. So without cows, without mode of goodness, we cannot understand scriptures. So एक बोला जाते दूसरा समझ में आएगा. Because of you might be hearing the words and you will bring the meanings of each word. How to get the knowledge of the sentence from the sentences? First, you will be hearing the sentences, which are the nothing but the combination of the words, and you will be recollecting the meanings of each word, and then after that you are doing the anvaya of those meanings. Then finally you are getting the knowledge. This is a general process. But when your mind intelligence and your chitta is inflected by the rajas and tamas, then what will happen? Then instead of recalling the right meaning of that word, you will be recalling the some speculated meanings. And with that, you will be recalling all the, because being influenced by rajoguna, you will not see the things as it is. And tamoguna, you will not be seeing, you will not be doing the, that means when mind is infected by rajoguna, then it cannot see the things as it is. And you will be seeing the snake and think that rope, and you will be seeing the rope and thinking that there is a snake. This is the quality of the tamoguna. And also rajoguna is also is always create the lot of, that means lust and so and so other things, unwanted things. Because of this, there is no so recalling of right meanings. The person who, that's many people they sit and hear in the class, are they getting the same understanding? No. Why the difference is there? Because of the influence of the modes. तो हम लोग आधा सो ही रह रहे हैं, तो सुन रहे थे, तो उसमें क्या आधा सुनेंगे, उसमें कुछ words also missing. Some sentences are not at all received also. So then after that, you might be guessing that it might have said before this and speculating, and then after that, making the whole concept as a speculative concept and sitting 2.5 hours and lot of speculations because of the influence of mode of passion and ignorance. If everyone is in the mode of goodness, then everyone will be getting the same thing. So that means you'll be understanding scriptures as it is. If you are in the mode of goodness, your mind, intelligence, chitta, all will be in the mode of goodness. Means as it is, the meanings will be coming, recollected, and then anvaya will be also done in a right way. That the way it should be done in that way. So yathatadam, that means yathartha gnana will be getting. Then that is useful for so progressing in bhakti. So because without having the scriptural knowledge, shraddha cannot be developed. Shraddha means shastrartha vishwasa. So how to get the full surrender? That means Dhrida Shraddha, one has to study the books, the philosophical understanding. That means Bhakti Gnanam has to be understood very deeply and remove all the doubts. Then when you are, that means because of when the doubts are removed, then the Shraddha will be very strong actually. And with the strong Shraddha, one can, what is the symptom of strong Shraddha? One will be surrendering to the Lord. But of course, this not just reading scriptures is enough. Before that, we need the mercy of the pure devotee also. Then only we can put belief on the whatever things we understood actually. Belief is different and understanding is different. So one can believe that, so by the mercy of the pure devotee. But understanding can be done by the material minds. But belief, that means accepting. Yes, Krishna is not having the birth. Krishna is also having the birth. So both are simultaneously true. And this is correct. And I will believe. This can be done by the mercy of the pure devotee. Otherwise, no. ऐसा ऊपर ऊपर चलता रहता है इसे समझ में तो ऐसा अंडरस्टैंडिंग रहता है लेकिन उसको वास्तव में लेकर इस पर एक्ट नहीं कर पाए. So for that we need the mercy. That's why definitely mercy is needed, and also studying the scriptures is needed. For that goodness is needed. For that cows also needed. That's why Prabhupada says without the cow milk, his brain tissues will be blunt actually. They will not be sharp and they cannot understand things. And then he says without this cow, spiritual life is impossible actually in future. We have few cows, so that's why we are drinking. We don't know what we are drinking most of the times. What they every time there nobody is having the cows, and no, even in the villages also no cows, but everyone is drinking milk and everyone is in kilos of paneer actually. How it is coming actually? From where it is coming, we don't know. Yeah, just they are completely took our life into their hands. All these demonic people, they took our life completely, and we should take everything back into our hands. Our life, everything should be in our control. Our food, our health, our social system, and also our culture and our education. Everything should be in our control. That is the real transformation of the society. So such a transformation we should bring out. Not that the only we are giving seed, but if you don't give the protection for that, so then there is no possibility of getting the fruits from that seed, a growing tree, and so that will not happen easily. So, like in the case of the demon's mother, the blood couldn't transform into milk, but it is flowed down her breast as it was. Blood transforms into milk. To drink milk is auspicious, but to drink blood is inauspicious. Although they are one and the same thing. This formula is applicable in the case of cow's milk also. So these people, they are cutting cows and they are eating. It is inauspicious. If they drink milk, then that is auspicious. It's a very wrong thing. Prabhupada very much time to time he says, so at least cows has to be protected. Maybe if you are not able to control your tongue, eat other animals, but leave cows. He was saying again and again.
In one place, he tells that anyway, cow is going to die naturally. After that, we will supply.
Yeah. So, but that means natural ahimsa. Without himsa, when the cows, the chandalas they eat. So, but they also eat dogs only. But cows meat is in Vedic life. It is not. Nobody is eating. She's mother actually. Who will eat their mother? Because our mother is also transforming her blood into milk and she's feeding. Same way, cow is also doing the same thing. Mother is only feeding for the maybe 4 5 years. So in the womb and also in the out for coming out from womb, maybe 5 years maximum we drink milk. Nowadays is a 5 months also is not happening. And from the day one also they are giving the something artificial thing actually. That's why those babies who didn't drink the cow milk, then क्या रहेगा उसके पास तो कुछ नहीं रहेगा उनके पास तो कोई so but 5 years only we are drinking milk from our mother, but remaining all the 95 years were fed by the cows actually. So cows are real also, they are also mother and they has to be.
Same cow, it is only desi cow, right? It's not other cows.
No, other cows, not other cows. If it is not cow means sasnadimatvam gotvam. It should have dewlap and it should have so pump. That is only the cow. If that is not having, maybe in the Africa also you can find India cows are went there and you can see same. If symptom is there, then we accept it as a cow. Already Shastra is saying what is cow. That symptom should be there.
No, but Prabhupada, when he started the farm projects and all, so he kept those cows only, and he called the cow protection.
Initially, because there are no desi cows, because
They are desi of that country.
no, if we see the qualities actually in the cow dung, cow urine, we can see why there's a result also. So those symptoms are not there. Then there is no use of that.
Basic also only in India.
They are there in the Africa also. They are in the many places. Only you have to see the symptom. Whatever Shastra is saying about cow, Lakshana, it is giving the Lakshana. That means this is the, if you want to say human being, if this Lakshana should be there. If you want to say Prithvi means, so Gandhavatvam Prithvitvam. That means the one which is having the smell, that is the Prithvi. Definition is there. Similarly, what is the for cow? The Sasnadimatvam Gotvam. So that should be there, then we accept it. Maybe in India, it may be in Africa. But symptom which is given by Shastra should be there. Next, 24. Huh? Vinishtasu Somayasu Bhuyaschavrajya Keshavam Roshapaguhamano Dadrusho Vastitam Bahi. When the demon saw his magic forces dispelled, he once again came into the presence of the personality of Godhead Keshava and, full of rage, tried to embrace him with his arms to crush him. But to this great amazement, he found the Lord standing outside the circle of his arms. Crush karna chahte hain till now. Because of Sudarshan, what happened? All these illusory powers, whatever are there, they're all finished. Illusory things, whatever Hiranyaksha created, everything is finished by the Sudarshan. Then now he appeared. So Hiranyaksha appeared and visible to the Lord. And what he did, immediately embraced Lord and tried to crush him with his arms. But Lord is out of his grip actually. In this verse, the Lord is addressed as Kesava because he killed the demon Kesava in the beginning of creation. Kesava is also a name of Krishna. Krishna is the origin of all incarnations, and it is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita that Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, exists simultaneously in his different incarnations and expansions. The demons attempt to measure the Supreme Personality of Godhead is significant. The demon wanted to embrace him with his arms, thinking that with his limited arms he could capture the absolute by material power. He didn't know that God is the greatest of the great and the smallest of the small. No one can capture the Supreme Lord to or bring him under his control. So he is having the no inside and no outside. So he is such a big. Since he is Ananta, so Ananta means there is no inside, there is no outside. Inside and outside is only possible for when there is a boundary is there. For Lord, is there any boundary? No boundary. And also he is having the boundary. He can be tied by the rope also. And also he cannot be tied by the rope. And he doesn't have any inside and outside because he is a Vibhu. And he is having that such a beautiful form, Madhyama Akara. And also he is all pervasive. And everywhere he is there. Krishna is there everywhere. Everywhere he is there. How it is possible? That is Achintya. The logicians, they cannot understand this. They try to figure it out through their logic actually. What is this phenomenon? And they may laugh at us. What is this you are saying? So your object cannot be defined by the some kind of logic. Then how can I accept this? This is the Nayayika stand actually. Logicians. They want to measure everything through the logic. But that is not going to work. So that is not possible. So because Lord is having the Achintya Shaktis, inconceivable potencies, which cannot be understood by the logic. So that's why Achintya should be there in the philosophy. In your philosophy statement, there should be Achintya. Then only it can be perfect. So philosophy which can help us to understand or accept the meanings of the Shruti statements as it is. So Lord is Achintya. And he has inside, outside, and also simultaneously he doesn't have any inside and outside. And also simultaneously with one body is existing in all the places. Example, Narada Muni, when he went to Dwaraka, he was seeing in all the 16,000 houses, simultaneously Lord is existing with one body only. Not that the Hiranyakashipu or Hiranyaksha, they are creating so many dummy bodies and one is original. Lord is also doing like that? No. So there clearly Narada Muni is saying that one body is only there everywhere. What is this? This is the vibhutvam of the Lord. Lord's vibhutvam quality.
Is dummy body now.
Like in the case of Indrajit, he was creating. No? So magic, through the Maya Shakti, they create.
But that will not act, it will not work.
That appears like the original body, but it's not original. Just to create illusion to the opponent, they create this some 10. Like in the case of Lakshmana and so Indrajit, Ravana's son, when they were fighting, so Indrajit has created so many dummy bodies and not able to identify who is original and where to shoot arrow. Like that they do. So Lord Krishna, whenever he appears with all the gopis, and one is original with Radha and remaining are dummy. No, everyone is one only actually. And also they are not expansions. That is one only. That's a Swayam Prakasha. All are one body, one person only everywhere. How it is possible? This is Achintya. Embracing it, nothing is there. She want to, I only half line are there, so I didn't go through that and I skipped it. It's embracing any comments you want to see? Any commentary is there, Prabhu?
Saying what your comments.
Yeah. Much is commentary now. Already over. Hello. He can remain with his devotees. Okay, the Supreme Lord Keshava, this personality of Godhead Krishna, is not bound by any measurement of our calculation. He can remain with his devotees in any suitable form, yet he is unapproachable by any amount of demonic activities. Even devotees also cannot know what is the ending of the Lord. So that's why Bhagavan realization is very easy, but it cannot be completely realized. But Brahman realization is very easy, very difficult, but it can be realized completely. Understand?
Brahman is also unlimited.
No, only that's pleasure is one thing, na? That means no gunas. Nirvishesha. Realizing Nirvishesha completely is very easy. But Lord is Savishesha. And having the infinite energies and infinite rasas manifesting and every time increasing. So realizing completely Lord is not at all possible. Brahmaji is saying in his prayers, 10th canto, 14th chapter. But realizing easy, actually, Bhagavan realization is quite easy compared to the Brahman realization. Brahman realization difficult, but it can be completely can realize Brahman. It is unapproachable by any amount of demonic activities. Next. Beginning. In the beginning. Shushti beginning actually. KCD. Yeah. Not this in the beginning case, Rakshas, not the in the Vrindavan case. Tam mushtibir vinignantam vajra radhokshajaha karena karna mulehan yata tvastram marutpati. हो गया. Finish. The demon now began to strike the Lord with his fist, but Lord Adokshaja slapped him in the root of the ear. Even as Indra, the Lord of the Marus, hit the demon Rutra. Either the root of the ear. One slap, finish. The Lord is explained here to be Adokshaja, beyond the reach of all material calculations. Adah Krutam Akshajam Yena Saha, Adokshaja. That means, Akshajam means, so the thing, the knowledge produced by the senses. So the knowledge produced by the senses cannot, that means, succeed the Lord. It is inferior to the Lord. That means using this blind, that means material senses, you cannot perceive the Lord. You cannot perceive the Lord. Akshaja means the measurement of our senses. And Adhokshaja means that which is beyond the measurement of our senses. So senses are pramana. That means they are used to measure. I means I is also pramana. Pramana means prama karanamiti pramana. That means the one which is used to measure actually. What it is measuring? It is measuring this object actually. This object is cylindrical shape, and this is this. This is glass. All these are measured by whom? By these senses. So that's why senses are known as pramanas. And these pramanas are producing what? Prama, knowledge. And that knowledge cannot so exceed the Lord. That knowledge is always inferior to the Lord. साहतो विश्वजिता ह्यवग्नया परिभ्रमगात्र उदस्तलोचनः विशीर्ण बाह्वाङ्घ्रिशिरोरुहोपतत् यथा नगेन्द्रो लुलितो नभस्वता. Though struck indifferently by the Lord, the conqueror of all, the demon's body began to weal. His eyeballs bulged out of their sockets, his arms and legs broken, and the hair of his head scattered. He fell down dead, like a gigantic tree uprooted by the wind. Only one shot only.
कान के नीचे मारा तो हाथ पैर गए.
इतना दूर जाके गिर गए. Purport. It doesn't take even a moment for the Lord to kill any powerful demon, including Hiranyaksha. The Lord could have killed him long before. But Hiranyaksha case is he's a Parshada, no? So that's why they are also having the equal potency to enjoy actually. All the Sarupyas, they are also having Sarishti, means Samana Rishti. That means Sampatti. They have equal Bala, like the Lord. Yeah. We saw in previous yesterday's discussion. They are also having equal Bala, Parshadas. That's why Parshadas only suitable, so combatant, so not others. That's why he is a good competitor. Lord selected them only. The Lord could have killed him long before, but he allowed the demon to display the full extent of his magical feats. One may know that by magical feats, by scientific advancement of knowledge, or by material power, one cannot become the equal of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can exceed the Lord also. One can control the Lord. So why you want to become Lord? You become more than Lord by doing devotion, pure devotion service. He can be tied. His lotus feet can be tied by the rope of love, and he can be just binded in your heart. Nowhere he can go. Like that you can make, and he can be your object of your control. That much he is offering. Why people are not taking? God is feeling for that. So he's saying that I am ready to be servant of my devotees, and I want to do service for my devotees. Ananyas chintayanto mam ejana paryupasante tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. I am ready to carry whatever they need, my devotees. They don't need to carry. No need to take luggage also. Huh? So just simply go and Lord is going to arrange everything everywhere. That much surety is giving. If you are dependent that much, then I am also ready to do that much service for you. But devotees anyway, they don't want to get this service. That is not their mood. But that is the mood of the Lord. There is a loving exchange. There is no limit for the love. Devotee want to serve Lord, and Lord also want to serve unlimitedly devotee. And who is there is no limit, then who is defeated? Lord is only being defeated by the devotees. So finally, to the gopis, Lord says that I am indebted and I cannot pay my. So whatever love you showed, I cannot pay it back in my whole life. It's not possible. So Matsya temples, Kurma, these are there. Kurma temple is there. Matsya also is there. Varaha also is there. So many are there.
That's more than
South India completely filled with this. Venkatati, that means, what is that? Tirupati. Varahanasima was there. And what we say that's in comes in which Purana? Varaha Purana. Venkatadri, you say. Venkatachalam. Completely about Tirupati, it is Varaha Bhagavan is explained and his presence.
But not many Matsya know about it.
Yeah. Not many, but
Yeah, Tirupati there is no.
yeah. So his inconceivable power, as displayed here, he is so strong that the demon, despite all his demonic maneuvers, was killed by the Lord when the Lord desired simply by one slap. क्षितौ शयानं तमकुण्ठवर्चसं करालदंश्रं परिदश्रदच्छदम् अजादयो वीक्ष शशसंमृगा अहो इमां को नु लभेत संस्थितम्. Aja Brahma and other arrived on the spot to see the fearful tusk demon lying on the ground, biting his lip. The glow of his face was wet, unfaded, and Brahma admiringly said, "Oh, who could meet such a blessed death?" Wow, such a nice death because Lord killed. Huh? So after this, what happened? Killing of this, everything is explained in the second canto, second chapter. How Hiranyakashipu was lamenting on his parents. That's his Hiranyaksha's wife and so children and mother Diti, they were crying. So Hiranyakashipu was giving lessons to them actually, spiritual knowledge. Yeah, yeah. So Bhagavad Gita course actually he is doing for them. In seventh canto, second chapter, remaining show will be there. After
That means demons also can speak on Bhagavad Gita.
oh, yeah, they all have knowledge, but they don't have love for Allah. That is only the problem. Although the demon was dead, his bodily luster was unfaded. This is very peculiar because when a man or animal is dead, the body immediately becomes pale. The luster gradually fades and decomposition takes place. But here, although Hiranyaksha lay dead, his bodily luster was unfaded because the Lord, the Supreme Spirit, was touching his body. One's bodily luster remains fresh only as long as the spirit soul is present. Although the demon's soul had departed his body, the Supreme Spirit touched the body, and therefore his body, the luster didn't fade. The individual soul is different from Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he quits his body, is certainly very fortunate, and therefore personalities like Brahma and other demigods eulogized the death of the demon. So in the case of Hiranyaksha, what is left? That huh? Soul is left or body, spiritual body left? Actually, in the with the Animadi Shaktis, Vaikunta Vijaya, yeah, Vijaya became using the Animadi Shakti, so became very small and he entered into this body. And that he left actually, not the soul. Spiritual body is there. So with body he entered into this Upadhi, that means Hiranyaksha Upadhi, and while the death also he left that. Like that only you should take.
With body he left.
With the spiritual body there, yeah.
Soul itself means spiritual body.
Soul itself is undividable. It's the finest thing. You cannot find the limbs of the soul. Because the meaning of the size of the soul is Paramanu. That means Anu size. So all Paramanus have the size of Anu. Anu means the least, the size. The in the whole creation, the least size is Anu and the highest size is Vibhu. And in between whatever size is known as Madhyama. So our body is what size? Madhyama. Bottle? Madhyama. What about the atoms? Anu. And atom means further undividable, infinitely small. After cutting, and you cannot cut further. So such a object cannot have limbs. That's a spiritual body will be given to Jiva. Otherwise, we are going against our own concept. That is, We say Jivatma is infinitely small. If it is infinitely small, it is having the Anu size. How it can have the limbs in that? Anu itself is the finest one, final size, that is. Final smallest size. So by doing bhakti, so Jivatma develops. Like by doing karma, we are developing the material body. By doing bhakti, develop means by that bhakti it is given actually. Existing thing only is given to Jiva, not the manufacturing every day. So like the we make pot, so from the mud like that, it is not manufactured, but spiritual objects all are eternally there. So eternal bodies are their spiritual bodies will be given to. Brahma Bhuta is the beginning.
Jiva means conditions.
Yes. By doing bhakti, Jiva will be Brahma Bhuta.
So one of these, so says Jiva means conditions.
Hmm.
So the stage that is
Brahma Bhuta stage is the beginning of the bhakti. So when one come out from the bodily designations, that means sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. That means one come out from the all the dharmas, all the designations. So in our diagram, if you see, this is the Brahma Bhuta stage. That means the beginning. One should come out. That means mad bhaktim labate. So then, by getting the bhakti, then only he can do pure bhakti. If he doesn't come out from the designations, bodily designations, that means that coming out from the bodily designations is known as Brahma Bhuta stage. So that means without coming out from the bodily designations, he cannot do pure devotion. That means in his heart, he will be having the that means space for that designation as a father, as a mother of the some child, as a father of some child, or the husband of someone. If that for that he is have that means that designation is there in his heart and his space is there for that, then Krishna will not say that it's not pure love. This is not pure devotion. I don't like it.
the extended family.
I don't want this. He says, I want only should love me. He's very selfish. No space for others. वो भी चलेगा ये भी चलेगा क्या प्रभु नहीं चलेगा like that Krishna says नहीं चलेगा you have to love me only me that is अव्यभिचारेण भक्ति योगे that means व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि एके हकुरुन is oneness that means complete the all the heart should be only one should be there in that. Even if you do family service, only that's just for the sake of others. Like how he is doing, coming to the material world and doing the different Kshatriya activities. He's asking Arjuna also. So you also do like that. And his devotees also. That's why they are all known as Paranishthita Karma, that is. And or otherwise Nirapeksha also is acceptable, but our acharyas are not saying to go Nirapeksha. Don't become Babajis. Leave everything. Do everything, but without any attachment. You do to set an example, but you should be Krishna conscious. Fully, your heart should be for Krishna only, and always to be Krishna conscious. This is a challenge.
The time also matters. So maximum time is given to serving the Lord.
Yes. Paranishthas, yeah. Karma, they don't have any faith on karma and other things. Only just sake of doing, and also while doing that karma, also they will not do karma which is against to the pure devotion. And they see that karma also how they do, like with the consciousness at that time also they maintain. In the case of the Pandavas, when they are doing the Rasu Yaga, they also one of the karma. They are seeing that karma is also how is like devotion only by seeing the every devata as the limb of the Lord. So there should not be faith on that. The direct faith should be on the Lord. And also not the perverted faith. That means, okay, karma is also given by the Lord. That is also dharma given by the Lord. So that's why I am doing this karma. This is also vyavadhana. That means this gap is there. That gap is not allowed actually. Then everything is given by the Lord. Then everything you can do then. So at the everything you say, But everything do at the time, every minute, if you remember Lord, then it's fine. But everything you said, but you forgot him, and then you are doing. So that activity, as that means just a duty, then you are coming to the down platform, bodily platform. And coming to the body platform, and you did the activity, and then after that, then gap is there. Then that is not pure devotion. But you are while doing that activity also, that karma also, if you are remembering Krishna, or you are hearing Krishna, serving Krishna, then that is pure devotion. But there should not be any faith on that activity. And what is another condition? So you have to have faith on Lord only. Even if you take medicine, medicine is not solving, but mercy is solving my disease. Everything is because of mercy. So that consciousness is very, that means you have to learn that consciousness from the teachings or prayers of pure devotees. That is only the possible way. Because many doubts will be there. Prabhu, how this thing how to see? Prabhu, this thing how to see? Like that we get many doubts. Then you have to hear pure devotees' prayers, how they are seeing the material world, how they are seeing the family relations, how they are seeing the all other things. That's why there is a need and importance of deeply going into the prayers of pure devotees towards the Lord. That will be reflecting their consciousness, which has to be practiced by practitioners. So that we can reach to the people.
Karma also, what purpose is whatever you have done in previous life, that much only you will get it in this life. Even one penny will not get extra. So then whatever the karma right now, this will be in next lifetime.
It will result now also. It's not like that present karma will not go. So all the aprarabdha karma is there, and when this is also going and adding, so that will turn into the prarabdha. So aprarabdha, kotam, bijam, and prarabdha. It will, like the mango ripes. Some mangoes ripe only first day. That means today, and some and the tree. So even the season begins, and flowers coming, but few mangoes today they are ripened, and a few mangoes after 10 days, 5 days, like that. We did karma, so that ripes actually. But ripening of that karma takes time. So some will ripe in this life also. Then they will give result. That's known as prarabdha. The karma which is ripen is known as prarabdha, about to give the result now. Phalamukhi. Yam yogino yoga samadhina raho dhyayanti lingadasato mumukshaya tasyeisha daityarashabha padahato mukam prashamsyam stanu mutsu sajjaha. Brahma continued. He was struck by a forefeet of the Lord, whom yogis seeking freedom from their unreal material bodies meditate upon in seclusion in mystic trance. While gazing on his countenance, this crushed jewel of Titi's son has cast off his mortal body. Further read. The process of yoga is very clearly described in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said here that the ultimate end of the yogis and mystics who perform meditation is to get rid of this material body. Therefore, they meditate in secluded places to attain yogic trance. Yoga has to be performed in a secluded place, not in public or in demonstration on stage, as nowadays practiced by many so-called yogis. That means at the time of they are being 1960s. Now they are becoming so much is fashion now. After the yoga day, it became very much. Everyone is nowadays they are showing that. The real yoga aim at reading one of the material body. Yoga practice is not intended to keep the body fit and young. Such advertisements of so-called yoga are not approved by any standard method. So relevant purpose now also strongly. Even after 50 years. Such advertisements of so-called yoga are not approved by any standard method. Particularly mentioned in this verse is the word yam or unto whom? Indicating that meditation should be targeted on the personality of Godhead. Even if one concentrates his mind on the Bore form of the Lord, that is also yoga. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, one who concentrates his mind constantly in the meditation upon the personality of Godhead in one of his many varieties of forms is the first class yogi, and he can very easily attain trance simply by meditating upon the form of the Lord. If one is able to continue such a meditation on the Lord's form at the time of one's death, one is liberated from this mortal body and is transferred to the kingdom of God. This opportunity was given to the demon by the Lord, and therefore Brahma and other demigods were astonished. In other words, the perfection of yoga practice can be attained by a demon also if he is simply kicked by the Lord.
Then the merciful Lord can come and
No, Lord's mercy always flows behind the devotee's mercy. He will never do that. He will never give his mercy directly to the conditioned jiva. From beginningless whoever is conditioned, for them he is not giving. If devotee mercy we got, then we understood Lord is there, and then if we pray him, then he will give his mercy. Then his mercy will flow, but not to you. एतौ तौ पाशदावस्य शापादात्यावसद्गतिम् पुनः कतिपयैस्तानं प्राप्स्ये देह जन्मभिः. These two personal assistants of Supreme Lord, having been cursed, have been destined to take birth in demonic families. After a few such births, they will return to their own position. They will go Jaya and Vijay. That means when Jaya and Vijaya are now in the Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, what about? That place is vacant. हाँ? उस प्लेस में अभी कोई जाकर रह सकते हैं क्या हम लोग भी थोड़ा हाँ? They left or never left. Now what we are saying that this Jaya Vijaya entered into the demonic Upadhi body.
Simultaneously one.
You see that wherever is something difficult to explain that thing. We're so fortunate. Huh? We can become very intelligent by using, even we are not knowing anything. Ignorant also can easily depend. Actually, so Vishwanath said na, in that discussion, did you discuss that? Huh? Yeah, they might have discussed the speaker. Vishwanath Thakur is saying, when Jaya and Vijaya, so that means Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha was there at that time also, we are seeing in the, what is that Leela? Samudramantan Leela. So that's Bali Maharaj, Vaman Dev. So when came for charity, so at that time there was fighting between the Devatas and demons. In that fighting, who is there? Jaya and Vijaya also were there. And also is going on Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyakshas. That means now Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha left and they are traveling towards to become Ravanasura and Kumbhakarna actually. So from this Vishwanath Thakur is saying, already that means the Jaya, that means Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha left their body and they are now moving towards the another body. But we are seeing Jaya and Vijaya fighting with the demons also. So this is establishing that. So there is Jaya Vijaya is there, and also Jaya Vijaya expansions are moving. And those expansions, how they entered, they became anima, using the animadi siddhis, they became small and they entered into the body. You should reconcile both acharyas. So that is a Jiva Goswami is saying. With that expansion entered into each body by becoming small. But not that like the soul without any body enters into the conditioned case. But in the case of Jay and Vijay case, with the so spiritual body only they entered, but that body became very small by the Animadi Siddhis. So that's why it's not possible. That means once if you got the spiritual body in the spiritual world, that will not be taken out from you. No, it is eternally will be with you.
But they return. So the expansion will go back.
go back and come back, go back and come back. Because Lord need every time he has to heal. Deva uchuhu namo namaste kila yagna tantave stito gruhitamala sattva murtaye dishtyahato jagatam aduntuda swastya pada bhaktya vayamisha nirvrita. The demigods address the Lord. So they are also glorifying one word anyway. So all obeisances unto you. You are the enjoyer of all sacrifices. You have assumed the form of a boar in pure goodness for the purpose of maintaining the world. Fortunately for us, this demon who was a torment to the worlds has been slain by you. And we too, O Lord, are now at ease in devotion at your lotus feet. इनका प्रेयर को देखिए कैसे है एक्चुअली सी देयर कॉन्शियसनेस व्हाट दे आर सेइंग इज हम लोगों का पीड़ा तो खत्म हो गया अभी तो हम लोगों का जीवन अभी हैप्पी हो गया तब जाकर हम भक्ति कर पाएंगे दैट मीन्स देयर भक्ति इज नॉट अनकंडीशनल थोड़ा सा दिक्कत आए तो भक्ति छोड़ दिया बस अब हिरण्याक्ष का स्मरण करने लगा हिरण्याक्ष हिरण्याक्ष हिरण्यकशिपु हिरण्यकशिपु this that means those devotees who are not in the pure devotional platform so those will be meditating on their difficulties for their body but in the case of the pure devotees out of any situation see our mother Kunti she's receiving actually she's asking the more and more difficulties and so that her consciousness always so that's very much convenient for the or useful conducive for the remembering the Krishna.
It's also conditional.
Yeah. So it's not because in the Swarga there is no bhakti because there's so much enjoyment also will anartha actually. So they are also doing at the time also bhakti, but there is oscillation will be there. That means not discontinuity. So that kind of sukruto tanarthas, that means this kind of pleasure is more dangerous than the pain. So because pain will be more and more, it will intensify the bhakti. But pleasure will make to forget the Lord. So that's why she is not expecting that pleasure thing actually. Give me the pain, which will intensify my devotion.
Also, this is Paramacharya.
Yeah.
The house should be
Brahma. No, this is not Brahma. Devatas. Only Devatas. Demigods.
Okay,
So they are saying that. So till now we can do devotion. This is you can see the prayers wherever. There is a lot difference you can find between the pure devotees prayers and also between the prayers like these devatas and many places you can see once again in the Dakshopakyana in the ending part the Vishnu when I was appearing and he's purifying the entire arena at that time all the different types of species of this whole world were glorifying from that you can understand the consciousness level of various that means species who are not fully devotees so these also acharyas significantly shows that so see their consciousness is only up to this they are only when the difficulty is there they remember but not that so they are remembering the Lord all the time. So material world consists of three modes goodness passion and ignorance but the spiritual world is pure goodness. It is said here that the form of the Lord is pure goodness which means that it is not material. In the material world there is no pure goodness. That means in the material world you cannot separate goodness from the rajas and tamas. तीनों भाई हैं एक दूसरे को छोड़ के नहीं रह सकते कभी नहीं रहते तो लेकिन इसमें थोड़ा बड़ा छोटा तो करेंगे लेकिन एकदम अलग होना तो असंभव का बात so that means sometimes goodness will be 99% and passion may be the 0.5 and another is 0.5 even another may be the 0.9 another is 0.1 but without tamas tinge of the tamas you cannot say or without the tinge of other remaining two cannot exist it's impossible so that's a purely goodness that means you should not at all think that pure goodness means in this material world there is a goodness is there that is removed from the rajas and tamas then Whatever the purely one is there, then that is known as pure goodness. We should not derive the meaning for pure goodness like that. But pure goodness is completely different material, different object. It's different from the goodness. Material goodness, whatever is there, is completely different from that. It is completely is out of Lord's Sarupa Sakti. It's internal potency. Which means that it is not material. That means it's completely spirit. In the material world, there is no pure goodness. In the Bhagavatam, the stage of pure goodness is called Sattvam Vishuddham. Vishuddham means pure. In pure goodness, there is no contamination by the two inferior qualities, namely passion and ignorance. Tada rajas tamo bhavaha kama lobha dayascha cheta ete ranaviddam stitam sattve prasiddhi. There, sattvam means what you should take. So Vishuddha Sattvam, not the material Sattvam. That means which is free from the Rajas and Tamas. When you say it is free from the Rajas and Tamas, it is free from the material goodness also. Because without these two, how it can stay alone? So that means something is free from the completely free from the passion and ignorance means that is free from the material goodness also. That is obviously should be understandable. The form of the boar, therefore, in which the Lord appeared is nothing of this material world. There are many other forms of the Lord, but no one of them belong to the material qualities. Such forms are non-different from the Vishnu form, and Vishnu is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. All the forms of the Lord are transcendental, and they are all like so existing in the Lord. Avatara means what? Just the manifestation of the different potencies. Everything is there. Now, few energies are manifesting, then that is known as Varaha, Matsya, Kurma. So, but all the energies are possessed by whom? Lord Himself, Krishna Himself. So that's why Krishna is the original. Original means is the source of everything. Anadiradir Govinda. And all other forms and other expansions are so just His energy manifestations in different levels. Like that, Jivatma is also one of the avatar. But it is inferior energy than the Sarupa Sakti. It is the manifestation of his energy only, but inferior energy than the Sarupa. But it is superior to the material energy. So you can also say, I am also avatar of the Lord. But do something like avatar. No. Why you can't do? Because your energy is not the same energy of what the other avatars they are having.
But we are not descended.
Who knows? Lord only knows. We don't know anything about that. That's another. The sacrifices which are recommended in the Vedas are meant to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In ignorance only, people try to satisfy many other agents. But the real purpose of life is to satisfy the Supreme Lord Vishnu. All sacrifices meant to please the Supreme Lord. The living entities who know this perfectly well are called demigods. So godly are almost God. Almost God, because they have understanding about the Lord's position. Since the living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, it is his duty to serve the Lord and please him. The demigods are all attracted to the personality of Godhead, and for their pleasure, the demon, who was a source of trouble to the world, was killed, purified. Life is meant to please the Lord. And all sacrifices performed in purified life are called Krishna consciousness. This Krishna consciousness is developed by devotional service as clearly mentioned here. Okay, now we'll speed up a little bit. Maitreya uvacha evam hiranyaksham vikramam sasadeyitva hariradaru asukarha jagamalokam sasamakanditotsavam samidita pushkara vishtaradibi. Sri Maitreya continued. That means Devatas, they glorified little bit and they gone. Brahmaji also, that means, said something before. Then after that, Lord, so after their glorification, little glorification, Lord also returned to his abode. See, Maitreya continued after thus killing the most formidable demon, Hiranyaksha, the supreme Lord Hari, the origin of the boar species returned to his own abode, where there is always an uninterrupted festival. The Lord was praised by all the demigods headed by Brahma. So in the spiritual world, there's a Varahaloka, he'll be there. There he'll be eternally existing. Lord is spoken of herewith as the origin of the both species. As stated in the Vedanta Sutra 1.1.2, the absolute truth is the origin of everything. So, therefore, it is to be understood that all 84 lakhs of species of bodily forms originate from the Lord, who is always Adi, or the beginning. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna addresses the Lord as Adyam, or the original, or the root cause, or the beginning cause. So that means we don't have Jivatma Anadi. No beginning cause, also beginning cause is there. How Lord is the beginning cause, and also Jivatma doesn't have being energy, he is the Adi cause. It's beginning cause. And he is there with Lord without any beginning. So that's why it doesn't have any beginning cause in that way. Anyway. Similarly, in the Brahma Sutra, the Lord Anadir Adir Govinda, it lead to the little long discussion. That's why I'll explain later actually. Anadir Adir Adi means he is the cause of everything. So Anadi means he have no beginning cause. Similarly, Jivas also like him, he is Anadi. That means no beginning cause. And Lord is Adi. That means he is the Adi, beginning cause for everything. So how he is Adi, beginning cause? Because it is energy. Everything is energy of the Lord. And being energy is non-different from the Lord and also is different from the Lord. So that's why for Jivas, Lord is Adi, beginning cause. And also that Lord is Anadi. That means he has no beginning cause. And Shakti is also non-different from the Shaktiman. That means Shakti is also not having the beginning cause. In this way, it is also Anadi, like that. That's why Achintya Veda is always really translated. Which can easily fit everything and can explain any statement of the Shastra can be easily explained by this philosophy.
But it can also be misinterpreted.
Very. But that's why that interpretation should be followed as per the Acharya's commentary and Prabhupada and our Acharyas, we should follow them. But many times we use out of the ignorance, we don't know anything, then we say it's Achintya. See, it is like no, it should be rational. That means Shastri Yuktecha Nishnataha. So that means the Shravana Guru should be expert in the Shastra and also Yukti. That means there should be Yukti which is under the boundaries of the Shastra. So you should explain Shastra with the given statement. Then if you say it is Achintya Veda, then you have to establish how it can be Achintya Veda and apply the rules of Achintya Veda and Abheda and make it and show it. And for that, not only showing, and you should show the Shastric statement for that. Now you say, so Jivatma is Shakti of the Lord. And Shakti is not different from the Shaktiman. For all this, you have to quote from the Vedanta also. Sutras and also should quote from the Sruti. Then your explanation is accepted. Otherwise, if you simply say it's Achintya Veda, but you are escaping from the what? Giving the references for that. That is the thing you have to establish. Then it will be accepted. The statement should be backed up with the Shastra. Your Yukti should be backed up with Shastra. Shastri, Yuktecha, Nishna. Then he is the perfect Shravana.
Shravana Guru is
Who can make other, who can teach subjects. Shravana Guru, Bhajana Siksha Guru, and Diksha Guru. 3 Gurus are in Bhakti Sandarbha it is mentioned. So Shravana Gurus, by hearing them, we will be understanding the Shastra and we will be developing the Shraddha. Bhajan Siksha Guru, we say Siksha Guru, then he will be saying how to practice bhakti. If you have developed faith, then after that one should do the bhajan. As much as we are developing faith, we should do bhajan also that much. So then how to do, then how to see the obstacles to remove that path of the devotion. So these are all being explained because from case to case it's different. The problems. That means anadhas are different in the different peoples. That's why there is a Siksha Guru is absolutely needed. Bhajan Siksha Guru. That means Bhajan Siksha Guru can be one among these Shravana Gurus. Shravana Guru can be many. So maybe it's a 10, 20, 100 hours. But among that 1 or 2 can be the Bhajan Siksha Gurus. And then there is a need to do the worship of the Lord. There is a Diksha Guru also is needed. So to worship the according to the Pancharatra Vidhi, so you need the Guru who can give the Diksha and who can initiate you. And so this Siksha Guru can be your Diksha Guru also. So you'll be taking. That means these are the principles actually. Diksha is needed to worship the Lord. Without Diksha, you cannot, this Grihastha is mandatory to take the Diksha. It means this what Diksha, that's a Pancharatra Diksha, they should take and worship the deities. In their house, it's a mandatory. For the Brahmacharis, it's excuse me. They have to just see once the Lord deities are decorated and worshipped, and you can go and get darshan, and you are getting the Dasukriti of the worshipping them. No need to do worship. But in the case of Grosthas, it will not work. They has to have their own deities and worship. Is must. It's a recommendation, strong recommendation by our acharyas. So that's why they should take the diksha.
But like while going to office and deity worship, we need to
Read
so
simplified.
many bhogas.
Yeah, it has to be that he. So fixing actually. Vidhi is a very elaborate also. Vidhi is simplified, medium. So that once the Vidhi is fixed by your superior authority, you have to follow. And you have to discuss with him how much Vidhi you can follow. That much should be fixed, and then you have to do that.
Sometimes some devotees argue that home child is there. So will you just feed one time or something?
Vidhi, whatever I'm saying. Vidhi, whatever amount of the Vidhi is given by their Guru. That means you don't need to follow completely given by scripture. That relaxation can be given for them by the Siksha Guru, Bhajan Siksha Guru. Then based upon that, they can accept that.
Shastra, this one provision is there.
Yeah, provision is there. Yes, provision is there. So that's why that means for the Sudras is one provision. That means by the Varna, who are in that Varna. So people who are in the Brahmana, they have another provision. Like that, there are the things are there. For the different occupations they have, based upon that, this Vidhi will be different.
The Shudras also
Worship actually. They can also worship.
But they don't get Diksha. No?
So that Diksha is different actually. So yeah. Without the Upaveta. So they can also given with the mantra. And these things are specific to the Sampradaya, and Acharyas are having the freedom to establish this. Without the mantra diksha, they will be given with the worship ritual. That's and also it is different from the different sampradayas. So some sampradayas, worship only is the primary thing. So mukhyanga actually for them. So in that case, there is a process is different. And in another sampradayas, Shravanam Kirtan is important. There is having the different. So in this situation, the Lord assumed the shape of boar to kill the demon Hiranyaksha and picked up the earth from the Garbha ocean. Thus he became Adi Sukara, the original boar. In the material world, a boar or pig is considered most abominable. But the Adi Sukara, the supreme personality of Godhead, was not treated as an ordinary boar. Even Lord Brahma and the other demigods praised the Lord's form as a boar. मया यथानुक्तमवादिते हरे कृतावतारस्य सुमित्रचेष्टितं यथा हिरण्याक्ष उदारविक्रमो महामृते क्रीडनवन्तिः Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, I have explained to you the personality of Godhead's coming down as the firstborn incarnation and killing in great fight a demon of unprecedented prowess as if he were just a plaything. This has been narrated by me as I heard it from my predecessor's spiritual master. Next, Sutta Vacha. इति कौशारवाक्याताम् आश्रित्या भगवत्कथाम् शब्दानन्दम् परम् लेभे महाभागवतो द्विजा. Sri Sutta Goswami continued, my dear Brahmana, Kshatta, that means Vidura, the great devotee of the Lord achieved transcendental bliss by hearing the narration of the past tense of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the authoritative source of the sage Kaushara, that means Maitreya, and he was very pleased. Purport, if anyone wants to derive transcendental pleasure by hearing the past tense of the Lord, he must hear from authoritative source as explained here. So that's why we should not hear from especially we should not hear from those Vaishnavas who are not belong to our Sampradaya, is also not. That means Sajatiya Snigdata. So better to hear from our Sampradaya and also especially from our family. All that. That's more good actually. Our family means from our Prabhupada's family actually. So it's more good actually. So because the mood is imbibed in their teachings and in their conclusions of those stories of the acharyas of whom we have to follow. So that our path of the devotion and worship will become so easy. So that should be not to hear the others. So other sampradayas and other rasas which are mixed with the Aishwarya, Yukta Madhurya rasas, if you start hearing, so that is not, that means it's not wrong, but that is not recommended actually. So we have to hear from our Vaishnavas and we should study our literature. And we have our own sufficient everything actually, literature and also the Vakyas all are available. Maitreya heard the narration from his bona fide spiritual master and Vidura as Vidura also heard from Maitreya. One becomes an authoritative simply by presenting whatever he has heard from his spiritual master. And one who doesn't accept a bona fide spiritual master cannot be an authority. This is clearly explained here. So that's why without accepting authority, but he wants to want some followers, then it is not going to work. He should first of all to be a follower, then he can become a authority. If one wants to have transcendental pleasure, he must find a person with authority. Without having gurus, some people say that I can read books and now why I need to accept any guru. I don't want to accept. I can read my books and I can chant and I can go back to the God. Prabhu, can it work or not? It will never work. Absolutely. It will never work. You have to, that means if you think that there is no need of guru for me to progress in my devotion, he is already committing the offense of third offense. If you think that there is no need of guru for my spiritual progress itself is an offense towards the Guru Tattva. And because of this offense, he never go back to the God. So then what to speak of? So it's not that the offending guru means we have guru and then I come to a offense towards him, then only guru awakening is happening. No. If you don't accept the concept of Guru Tattva for progressing of the spirituality, itself is offense. So such a people.
Not accepting the limit also.
Not accepting, that means once guru is passed, that means that's a Siksha Guru, that means who is guiding you. That means all our Diksha Gurus are Siksha Gurus also. You should remember this. Don't think that our Diksha Gurus only giving the mala and just sitting like that. They are giving the teachings, they are giving the instructions, and they are guiding us. So that's why our Diksha Gurus are all Siksha Gurus also. The prime most Siksha Gurus in almost all, every Guru in our organization. So that's why our Diksha Guru is Siksha Guru also. Not that just the formality Gurus they are. So that's why once that Guru is not there, so you have to accept his another living Guru you should accept. So Jiva Goswami says, whom to accept? The senior disciple of that Guru, you should accept him as your next authority actually, as a guide. Or otherwise, so senior disciple are the God brother of his, who is following his mood. That God brother only you have to select. The God brother who is following your Guru's, so that means his Guru Bhai. That means who is following the mood, same mood is there. So like your Gurus, that God brother only should, Guru's God brother only should follow, or otherwise, senior disciple who is following strictly. Who is not following, no need to follow him.
Any other spiritual master's disciple in good standing and following Prabhupada nicely. So
yeah, that also. So that means they are now in the one family. Their mood should be matching. The principle is what? Your Guru's mood has to be seen in the now living Guru actually. That should be, that snigdhata should, sajatita should be there. That sajatita should be maintained.
It is an offense one.
It's absolutely. So that means they should accept Acharya. You are not following Acharya. So and how that means the medical shop is there, and also the description of the diseases also is there. Without the guru, how you can have that means without doctor, can you have medicine for the diseases? No, not like that. But they have some differences actually. Anyway, so our Diksha Gurus are not just Diksha Gurus. Our Diksha Gurus are Siksha Gurus also, and who are giving the guidance for they are realized souls, and they are giving the guidance, and such a people are needed. So that means the qualification for Siksha Guru is also very high. And the qualification of Shravana Guru also is very high. So such a high Guru, that means, so to become a qualified Siksha Guru also demands a lot. To become a qualified Shravana Guru also demands a lot. You cannot bring down the the eligibilities of the Siksha and the Diksha and also Shravana Gurus. Cannot bring down actually.
When preaching happens and things like that, so
Neophytes. Yeah.
so senior people maybe like 4 5 years in Krishna consciousness, they are guiding 1 year,
Yeah,
6 months in Krishna consciousness. And because some some teaching is given, so like they also accept them as Siksha Guru and things like that. So how that is to be seen?
Yeah, they are not absolute Shiksha Gurus. They are only represented Shiksha Gurus. The absolute Shiksha Guru should be realized. Who is the driving force behind this? And these Shiksha Gurus can lift only to that extent of their counsels, so where they are, not more than that. So if they become independent, if they get connected, then they will also grow and they will allow others to pull actually. When you connect it, then you can, if I pull, then they will also pull. But if you disconnect yourself and if you become a king of everything, then we will be, your followers also will be like you only. They will one day make you also go down. So that's why we should be connected to the root, the living Guru.
Sometimes the Bhakti Vaibhava react
Like the supreme authority.
speak as a Bhakti Vaibhava.
Yeah.
You have to be clear here that is a representative.
Yes, yes. Representative Shiksha Guru actually. The principle we are practically to implement, so we are adopting this. So where one should not think that he is absolute Guru and tomorrow onwards he is feeling himself as everything for this disciple. This attitude is very wrong actually. He himself is not on the pure devotion platform and he thinks that he is absolute Guru. Nowadays they are making groups and feeling themselves as so perfect. And we are everything. What? They are simply messing up the progress of their followers.
Basically, they should be above mode of life.
Ah, the other is not devotee also.
But Prabhupada writes, even Kanishta can be accepted as
That's what I'm saying. But he is not absolute Guru. Na? Kanishta can lift only to the extent where he is. That means until unless he is not in the pure devotional platform, how we can pull to the without his krupa, we cannot get into that.
So sometimes it may happen like the Kanishta who is following proper nicely, so he is becoming Guru, and then the disciple, he is connecting properly to Prabhupada's books, teachings, and things like that. So can the disciple make progress more than the?
The funda is this. Ultimately, without mercy of the pure devotee, there is no possibility of the entering into the pure devotional platform.
That is, if they say like that is Prabhupada's.
That's Prabhupada mercy. So to flow that, so there should not be, that means someone should give that mercy. Na? So that means that is there in the form of books and now someone has to explain to him. So that's why Prabhupada is also saying this will definitely, if you see, then Vasudev is also is pure devotee and all the previous acharyas all are pure devotees. So in that case, if someone wants to enter into the pure devotional platform, so one might be having so many anarthas which can stop not to flow this mercy. Then there is that means a living Guru is needed to destroy that obstacles actually and make flow the mercy. That means, like you said that someone is there and now he is Kanishta and he is following Prabhupada and he is allowing someone to read books and also saying that you should strictly follow Prabhupada. But who is being guided, that person is having a lot of anarthas. It needs some special care to destroy that. Special operation is needed. Then some powerful person needed to destroy that.
that calls for the need of physical proximity also.
There's need actually. Physical proximity means So one should understand what is his problem. What kind of anartha is stopping? What can be the specific solution for him? That is needed actually. So, and also to lift to the pure devotional platform is also needed. After entering the pure devotional platform, to follow the bhajan also, there is a Guru Padashra is there. That's Bhajan Shiksha Guru. That means we accepted Bhajan Shiksha Guru early only, before coming to the pure devotional platform. But same Bhajan Shiksha Guru, we can see after the bhajan, in the time of bhajan also. But what? So one has to bring to the stage of pure devotional platform. If offenses are there, so even if mercy is flowing, but we are not able to take it, na, because of these obstacles. So that's why there is need of these special, so gurus, so help actually. That's why we have to accept our living gurus. Prabhupada's disciples as gurus, so who can understand our situation and lift us where we are stuck in.
So my question is coming from
Yeah.
this one. So we see that next generation now sometimes uh, because they are management, we know like sometimes some people just they want to go through the management and somehow become guru. We know some cases like that. So if somebody becomes disciple of such guru, wants to politically become a guru, because it's powerful position.
Yes, yes, yes.
So if somebody becomes a disciple of him, so then like there is no saving.
No,
grace.
sir.
Huh?
If he's that disciple is following him only and he is not qualified to destroy his anarthas, so then he cannot lift nothing. And he is also not following others and strictly following his guru. And he has to follow strictly that guru, and that guru is not ability to lift, then he cannot.
So, but if he has other Shiksha gurus, he can elevate himself.
Guru Tattva should be there actually. Then he is unqualified and he's leaving and he's taking another shelter and he's so such a qualified, so from Guru he's taking the, that means help, and that means he's consulting, then he will lift. And if someone is unqualified, from the distance for that Guru, you should pay obeisances and say Tata. That is there in the Bhakti Sangha. If Guru is not qualified.
Prabhupada is not like other acharyas. They have perfectly understood all the anarthas now. Also, if you go to the Samadhi of Prabhupada and pray him, so why you need him?
That means the one way of offending other acharyas.
They are studying, they are being.
Yeah. So loving Prabhupada means not disrespecting other acharyas. That should not be there actually. The other Prabhupada will not be happy. Prabhupada always want to be a loyal servant of his Guru and Parampara. And you are saying out of some, so that means apparently it looks so dedication for Prabhupada, but inside if you open it and see, there is an offense towards the other acharyas. And what do you say about Jiva Goswami? He didn't give everything and everything is nicely is given. But we need definitely to not to accept some concept given by the acharyas and to patch it up and you are deriving something new. And that is a problem only. You cannot accept that. And then why? Then Guru, then after some days, so one will say that even my Chaitya Guru is there, better than Prabhupada actually. He will reveal everything. Why we have to depend on Prabhupada also? This is the way the Kali acts actually on the society. Gradually, it will take it off everything. Now they are saying Prabhupada statements are not so perfect and few has to be deleted. This is the way of and because now the present time and place circumstances, we cannot follow everything, whatever he's saying that is not applicable. This is the tendency of rejecting the authority actually. And gradually, instead of sticking to that and humbly accepting everything, whatever he said, and try to follow that, but we are here and this is this, and now we have to reduce something in that. Is the tendency of what? Is the reduction of the tendency is rejecting the authority. That nature is began actually. This is the way the Vedas and so many things are misinterpreted for us and made us to not to follow our culture. And this is the way also another way to reject Prabhupada. After few years, they say that Prabhu, this also has to be deleted. Prabhu, this also has to be deleted. And Prabhu, this also has to be deleted. Everything delete it and then you will be hero. This problem is very dangerous. It looks very apparently nice, but inside, if you see, it's a very, very dangerous. That means it's a coming out of the lack of faith on the acharya. and not to be submissive and not to follow the authority. It's a very dangerous situation. This is the way Kali plays so many ways. So many techniques are there. Okay, we have to go little. अन्येषां पुण्यश्लोकानाम् उद्धयामयशसां सताम् उपसृत्या भवेन्मोदः श्रीवत्साङ्कस्य किं पुनः. What to speak of fearing the pastimes of the Lord, whose chest is marked with Srivasa? People may take transcendental pleasure even in hearing of the works and deeds of the devotees, whose fame is immortal. So Bhagavatam literally means the pastimes of the Lord and the Lord's devotees. For example, there are pastimes of the Lord and narrations of the devotees like Prahlad, Dhruva Maharaj, and Maharaj Ambarisha. Both pastimes pertain the Supreme Personality of Godhead because the devotees' pastimes are in relation with Him. The Mahabharata, for example, the history of the Pandavas and their activities is sacred because the Pandavas had a direct relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These things actually, when you read the transcendental devotees' pastimes, that will definitely help how to develop the Krishna consciousness. Their consciousness towards all the objects, towards the material objects, towards the family relations, and towards the Lord and avatars, you have to observe keenly. So how they are seeing all the various objects, material world, spiritual world, jivas, the same way you also should see. So that is the important thing we should develop while studying the prayers and the way they surrender. Next, Yogajendram Jashakrastam Dhyayantam Charanambujam Kroshantinam Karenunam Kruchrato Mochayadrutam. The personality of God had delivered the king of the elephants who was attacked by an alligator and who meditated upon the lotus feet of the Lord. At the time, the female elephants who accompanied him were crying, and the Lord saved them from the impending danger. The example of the elephant in danger who was saved by the Supreme Lord is especially cited here because even if one is an animal, he can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotional service, whereas even a demigod cannot approach the Supreme Person unless he is a devotee. Actually, when Gajendra became, that means when out of devotion, when it cried, so then only Lord reacted for that. So before that, Lord didn't approach the Gajendra and saved. So that's why from this you have to see Lord is not going to, that means Gajendra is devotee, but is not a such a surrendered full pure devotee actually. So that's in the pure devotee's case, if you submit everything to the Lord, then He will take care whatever is happening. But you are not submitted, that means so Prakrita Bhakta. So Gajendra is Artha. Artha, Jignasu, Artharthi, Jnani, these four are the what? Prakrita Bhaktas. Yes, Kanishta Bhaktas. So in the case of the Kanishta Bhaktas, so whenever we pray, then only Lord will save because we didn't surrender fully. If you surrender fully, then He will take care of everything. But if you surrender only little bit half or little, yata mam prapadyante tam sadaya bhajam. Since now Gajendra is not calling the Krishna, so Lord, so that's why he didn't come. So from this you have to understand one more philosophical point that by seeing the material miseries, Lord will not react. Because material miseries will not touch the Lord's heart. Lord's heart is touched by what? Only the devotion. So if he is touched by the material miseries of the jiva, then what? He has to save everyone and no one should be in the material world. So that's the material misery will not touch. When Gajendra prayed, that prayer touched his heart. Then he ran. 100 years, 1000 years it was fighting with that crocodile. Yes? 1000 years it was fighting, but nothing. No, Lord didn't come. So that's why material miseries cannot touch the heart and that will not lead to the mercy of the Lord. Because Lord doesn't have any experience of material miseries. That's why his heart will not melt for material. Yeah, he is not experiencing. That's the Siddhanta. Jiva Goswami establishes. So Lord doesn't.
Bhokta it comes in this one.
Only bhakti he takes. Yeah.
The Bhagavad Gita, the aspect of Bhokta comes, and also like
not material
the people
things.
who are doing severe austerities, they torture themselves and they torture karma.
Yeah.
Something.
So in that case, he is not any bhokta means lot the material thing he is not accepting actually. So if you say he is enjoying or the getting, so enjoying the material things, if you say, then what will happen? That is only possible when chit padartha is covered with the avidya, and then only it will so feel that material things are mine and I am enjoying. Even Jivatma also directly not enjoying. When it is covered with the avidya, so at that time, what are the pleasure is produced in the subtle and gross bodies, so that is thinking that Jivatma I am enjoying. But by nature, Swarupa, Jivatma is pure and it is not enjoying. So then in the case of but it is thinking that I am the enjoyer because being covered by avidya. But in the case of the Supreme Lord, avidya cannot cover him and cannot make him to forget his own self. That means I am Supreme Lord. Will he forget by the Maya's covering? It's not possible at all. And can he think that the pleasure, whatever is derived in the subtle body created by the Maya, so can he think that that pleasure is my pleasure? Can it happen like that? It will never happen actually. So that's why material pain experience he doesn't have, but he has the knowledge. Sarvagnatvam is there, but there is no anubhava. To get the anubhava, then it has to be so inferior to the. He should be suppressed by the Maya actually. Then only she can make him to experience it. That cannot be possible in the case of
What
law.
will be feeling when the severe austerities and
So in the case of yogi, so yeah, we were explaining that in the last class, last to last class. So yogis, when they meditate on the beauty of the Lord, their heart becoming soft and they are relishing the pleasure. The heart is relishing pleasure, but they try to withdraw their mind from there also because they are being preached by jnanis. That means Brahman is only the ultimate pleasure, not this one. So that is more powerful. Association is more powerful. Even directly is getting the pleasure of the Lord's beauty, he is rejecting that. That's why until unless if you don't get the mercy of pure devotee, and by that your bhagya is not risen, even the Lord's pleasure is coming, you cannot accept that. Automatically nothing will happen. The initial account has to be created by mercy of pure devotee.
This
Mhm.
torturing of
Then that is the so then what is the torturing? So now he is removing out that heart. Lord is watching this. So that means he is deriving the bhakti pleasure, but he is rejecting that. How is this? He is so that means Lord is feeling pain for this kind of attitude.
out of compassion.
Yeah. That means he is this Jivatma is rejecting the bhakti pleasure. That is Lord can sense actually. So that's the pain. Not the Jiva's material pain he's sensing. He's sensing the Jiva's the spiritual pain he's rejecting. That is he's sensing actually.
Here it is in the impending danger. So the danger is only for his body. So it's all not the platform. So why I mean, protection from the body, any body is going to die. Translation.
Translation.
Impending danger.
The personality of God delivered the king of the elephants who was attacked by an alligator and who meditated upon the lotus feet of the Lord. At the time, the female elephants who accompanied him were crying, and the Lord saved them from the impending danger. What is the meaning of impending? In
आने वाला है.
आने वाला है. वो मर गया होता तो लाइक
मर जाता है और जो मर नहीं दिया बस.
Any होने
नहीं
वाला
बनने
है.
दिया.
What is going to happen?
कुछ
Body is going to die.
So why the Lord is acted for this?
सब मरने वाले हैं तो सबको क्या सेव करने की सर. तो देह जब रहेगी तब ना तो भक्ति करेंगे. तो देह को छोड़ देंगे तो कैसे होगा? तो ज्ञानी स्टाइल हो जा रही है. So Lord is protecting the devotee's body, material body also, so that he can practice bhakti. If that deha is not there, then how he can become a.
The other way, just now we discussed here that he doesn't understand the material. So
He doesn't feel.
Feel.
He understands
He
better.
doesn't realize.
He knows, but he didn't feel. अनुभव अलग है. तो लड्डू मीठा रहता है, किसी को बोला जो लड्डू जिंदगी में नहीं खाया, मीठा का पता है उनको, मीठा का अनुभव, तो उनको बोलने से लड्डू मीठा था, वो अच्छा लड्डू मीठा है, इतना ज्ञान है. लेकिन जब मीठा को मुंह में रख तो उसके बाद उनको ये मीठा है का अनुभव है। ये दोनों में अंतर नहीं है। वो माने भगवान को भौतिक दुखों का अनुभव नहीं, लेकिन ज्ञान तो है।
Then someone may say that what kind of God is that doesn't help when I'm in sin.
He doesn't
Help when I'm in misery.
अच्छा, that's why na, to flow the mercy from the heart, there should be the experience of that. Touching should be needed. Knowledge is not sufficient. अब कोई भी है बोले हैं ये जो डिसीज से बहुत दुख होता है, जैसे जैंडिस एग्जाम्पल। सो जैंडिस कभी जिंदगी में नहीं आया, लेकिन आप सुने हैं जैंडिस से दुख होता है, और दुख का एक्सपीरियंस कभी जिंदगी में है ही नहीं मान। और लेकिन यू हर्ड दैट सो जैंडिस से दुख आता है और बहुत दुख होता है। तो ऐसा जो व्यक्ति जिसको जिंदगी में दुख का एक्सपीरियंस ही नहीं कभी भी, और उसको बोले हैं कि दुख माने जैंडिस आया मुझे ऐसा करके आप उनके सामने गए, तो उनको उनकी हृदय से कोई रिएक्शन नहीं आता है। लेकिन जो व्यक्ति जिंदगी में जैंडिस को अनुभव किए हैं, और उनको ही जैंडिस पेशेंट को देखते ही तुरंत उनका अरे बेचारा जिसको भौतिक दुख का एक्सपीरियंस ही नहीं है, क्या रिएक्शन आता है हृदय से। ये इट्स नॉट माय स्टेटमेंट, इट्स जीव गोस्वामी राइटिंग इन भक्ति संग्रह। Don't think that I am making some manufacturing philosophy. No, you want to read in maybe in the before less than 150 Anuchad. If you search the keywords, then you can find this. I can otherwise I can give the Anuchad. There's a Gajendra example he only gives. This also this much time is not. Next, after time is another 10 minutes at least we should take. 10 15 minutes. इतना क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे तो क्या करूं। तम सुकाराद्य सम तम सुकाराद्यम ऋजुभे अनन्य शरणै नृभिः कृतज्ञः को न सेवेत दुराराध्यम साधुभिः। What grateful soul is there who would not render his loving service to such a great master as personality of God? The Lord can be easily pleased by spotless devotees who resort exclusively to him for protection, though the unrighteous mind finds it difficult to propitiate him. Every living entity, especially persons in the human race, must feel grateful for the benedictions offered by the grace of the Supreme Lord. Anyone, therefore, with a simple heart of gratefulness must be Krishna conscious and offer devotion service to them. That's why gratefulness is very important. Lord is giving everything, and if one is grateful in his heart, then he can surrender. Otherwise, if you don't feel grateful for the given the things for to the Lord, by the Lord to us, then we cannot surrender also. But we are grateful to the only people who are giving apparently to us. And if you surrender to them, then it is a also symptom of not having the surrenders to the Lord. Understand what I am saying? If you surrender to the non-devotional person, is also symptom of not surrendering to the Lord. मेरा बॉस है तो उनकी बिना मैं नहीं रह सकता। So pleasing him is only my duty. For these 12 hours, I am his servant, and after the remaining 12 hours, my Krishna servant. Then this is a lack of Krishna consciousness. So that means for the karpanyata, that means you have the karpanyata towards the non-devotees. That means meekness showing towards the non-devotees. Feeling meekness so in front of the non-devotees. He is also not having the faith on the Lord. That means we are struggling somewhere. I'm thinking himself as a body, and to maintain that is needed, then only I can do bhakti. So somewhere there is lacking in Krishna consciousness and understanding of accepting the philosophy.
Disrespecting and following because they are supposed to follow what he says in office or law. Surrendering is different, but following is official.
Yeah, that's different. Meekness. You should not show meekness. Meekness माने अभी कार्पण्य था। अरे तो आप ही मेरा बाप है। This आपके बिना मैं नहीं जी सकता। Meekness, low बात समझ। मैंने मर गिर के रहना उनके साथ। सब बनारसी वर्ड्स हैं, हम बनारस से इसीलिए चलो
Oh, some devotees don't know.
Not some devotee, only one.
one devotee only. अरे तो rasa कैसे English words I don't know much so deeply which can reflect the exact meaning Hindi words can reflect it. Indian language can reflect the absolutely the feel of that
The mood and
bhava. That language is having very less feelings. People they all have very less feelings. They don't need more words also, and that's the problem for them. You are from Telugu? No, no. Yeah, Tamil. Tamil, I don't know. मैं एकदम छोटा बन के I feeling low in front of him and without you. That means how we surrender to the Lord, like that if you surrender to the others, non-Dhyani the Krishna, who is non-devotees, devotees you can surrender. That is good. You should. But non-devotees if you surrender, no. That's why Prabhupada wanted. So in the Satkriya Saradipika, Gopal Bhatta Goswami is writing actually. This is so working. That means if you work, then automatically surrenderance also will come automatically, and association. That is the dangerous for the bhakti. In that way. So that's the Prabhupada. If you see in a philosophical way also, we should actually like in the Vrindavan, all the devotees are depending on the devotees. So that should be there actually. Then there is no breaking of principle. That's why we need to have, at any way, if you see materially, physically, spiritually, and also devotionally, all the ways, if you say we need to have our own, in all the ways, we should be independent from everyone.
From the non-devotees.
Yes, we should be independent from non-devotees. Not independent like Brahman realization. Don't think like that. Another extreme that is.
Only because we are not sectarian, but when you say
We are fully sectarian.
We are sectarian.
Yes,
And we want to maintain our sect and everything everyone should follow us. We don't want to follow anyone else. And next problem.
Only Bhakti Vaibhava class. Vaibhava's class is not sectarian.
No, philosophy is non-sectarian. Anybody can come. But we are sectarian.
But for entry, we can give everyone actually. But we maintain our sect, and we have feeling for our devotees, and we are communals. That means and spiritual communists we are. And we give our life for our devotees to save them. Not the liberals. We are not liberals. We are righty. It may be recorded, no problem. Prabhupada says this actually. What I am not saying this. Spiritual communism. That doesn't mean that we are liberals actually. Everyone is okay. Everyone is also devotee. Everyone is also like Lord. Such a liberal we don't. This is spiritual communist, not just a communist. Generally, communists they are liberals, no? But not. We are not that kind of liberals. We are not liberals also. Liberalism means सब चलता है actually. ऐसा नहीं. Only Krishna conscious चलता है. Like sectarian. That's a sect, and also we stick to the certain the sampradaya. Sampradaya means when you say sampradaya, that means we are not liberals. We are sectarians. Sampradaya itself is a word of sectarian, but it is open for everyone. That is the beauty. It is open for everyone. Everyone can come and join into this sect. But you cannot say that we should follow you and we are respect each other. Respect means you also equal to us and we are also equal to you. That liberalism will not work. We are devotees and Krishna is only the superior. We don't say okay. Liberals means even the so Shiva is also okay and they are all equal. This is liberalism. We don't accept this. Next. यो वै हिरण्याक्षवदं महाद्भुतं विक्रीडितं कारणसूकरात्मनः शृणोति गायत्यनुमोदतेजसा विमुच्यते ब्रह्मवदादपि द्विजा. O Brahmanas, anyone who hears, chants, or takes pleasure in the wonderful narration of the killing of the Hiranyaksha demon by the Lord, who appeared as firstborn in order to deliver the world, is at once relieved of the results of sinful activities, even the killing of a Brahman. This is a falasriti. Result diya gaya. This is phala. What is the phala of hearing this Hiranyaksha Vada? So how Lord Varaha killed. So if we hear this, you'll be relieved from all the sins. Now all sins are gone. There is no, one should not think that, oh, maybe it is only for beautifying the bhakti, it is said. Maybe it is not really true 100%. If you think, then it is offense. It is the Arthavada. If you think this statement only just exaggeration, if you think it is a sixth offense. Your sins already completely destroyed. But Prabhu, I am seeing still some sinful tendencies in me, but how it is true? So then one should think that there is only my aparadas are there, that's why my sins are not destroyed. But philosophy is if anyone here, so Hiranyaksha Vada, so then it is going to purify all the sins. That is true, provided there are no offenses. And we should not, so that means we should not have any little bit also doubt on this. One should not have even a little bit of doubt. Offense means that means this statement is not true. That means hearing this katha is not going to give, not going to clean the entire sin. So it's maybe like sabji market में बोलते हैं ना कोई भी तो जैसा ये मेरा सब्जी बहुत सुंदर है, बहुत सस्ता है, बहुत टेस्टी है, ऐसा बोलते हैं. But actually that's not true. Only for the selling the vegetables you'll be exaggerating. So like that Shastra also to make everyone devotee, it is just glorifying bhakti like that. If you think like this, it's only just an exaggeration, it's not the so real. Like sabji mandi में जो भी है vendor sabji के बारे में बोलते हैं like that vendor how is glorifying his vegetables like that only bhakti Shastra is glorifying bhakti in that way. If you think like this, then it is offense. We should. It's not exaggeration. It's not just a glorification of. That means artificial glorification. No, it is perfectly fact actually. That means Hiranyaksha Vada. If we hear, so it will remove all the sins. No doubt in that.
Well, here it is the first word twice in two shlokas. What is the second word? First word is Shweta. This Neelam.
It will go on. It can mix it anyway. Adisukha. Because because he is the first, because at that time even the living entities are not created. So Vishnu became firstborn means then firstborn for everywhere. That only is coming again and again in the different forms. That is not different from that first one. Since the personality of Godhead is in the absolute position, there is no difference between his past tense and his personality. Anyone who hears about the past tense of the Lord associates with the Lord directly, and one who associates directly with the Lord is certainly freed from all sinful activities, even to the extent of killing of Brahmana, which is considered the most sinful activity in the material world. So even one holy name is enough to destroy all the sins actually. So that means Savanaya. So Swadhopi Savanaya. So if one, even the dog eater here, one holy name, he can be purified from all the sins, all prarabdha. That means aprarabdha, kotam, bijam, prarabdha, all the kinds of sins will be destroyed by one holy name. Prarabdha also. But devotees, they don't want. Because, so prarabdha means already committed sins. The result of the committed sins, that is. So because of that result, so they don't want to allow the Bhakti Maharani to clean that. अरे तो मैं तो किया ऑलरेडी अपराध सो इसीलिए ये रिजल्ट आ गया तो रिजल्ट को तो भोगने दे why Bhakti Maharani should clean. But remaining, that means Kutam, Bijam, Aprardham, which are not really, that means manifested. That means you didn't do that. That samskaras only, not the done sins, those are all. So that the samskaras of that.
But so, Aprarabdha is done since the.
Aprarabdha is, yeah, but it is not fruitified. Aprarabdha is in the form of samskara. So that sin samskara is there. When aprarabdha increases, then that will become turned into the kuta. Then so it means prarabdha means what? Now when we do sin, any sin, there is an impression stored of that sin. That means, and also result is there. Result is prarabdha.
So aprarabdha queue it gets
Registered actually. That is aprarabdha. But result is prarabdha.
So now aprarabdha is also the sins committed and it should fructify. So like the devotee is okay if that is taken off. Only why prarabdha?
Prarabdha is phalonmukhi. That means now
It's right to suffer.
So that means those sins now ready to give the result. And because of that, we got the result also. That means this particular shape of the body and this and this. So they don't want to make the bhakti to destroy this. But in the case of aprarabdha, so those are all samskaras are there. That sinful samskaras. But for the sin, whatever the punishment is there, they are ready to accept that.
The tendencies, the vasanas.
Vasanas. Those are known as that. When they become more, that means if someone is drinking cigarette, so 2 times, 3 times he drink, sin is happening and also samskara is formed. So samskaras are aprarabdha and this sin result. This is coming actually. The punishment devotee want to accept. Punishment he wants to accept, but so for whatever he did, he wants to take the punishment. But for the impressions based upon that, he's going to do in future. But impressions he allowed to clean. So that is the tendency of the in the case of the devotees. So next, one should be very eager to hear about the activities of the Lord from the bona fide source of the pure devotee. If we don't hear from pure devotee, then the impurity, if it's there in him, that impurity will be induced in his mouth and in that narration also. So then, whatever the amount of impurity is there in him, that also will go into you. So one will be lifted only the amount of purity he has, that much only he can lift. That much only Krupa he can make. That means understanding is different and Krupa is different. Krupa is a Bhakti Shakti. Understanding is out of the material. This is just a function of the mind intelligence. Understanding is different. That means that's a Shraddha is not Bhakti. Shraddha is just an understanding part of this. It is just different from the Bhakti. Shraddha can be developed. But that means understanding can be developed. Shraddha is part of the so understanding that object and accepting. Shraddha is part of understanding some subject matter and accepting. But Bhakti is different. ये थोड़ा सा हम टाइम लगेगी इसको पूरा एलाबोरेट करने के लिए. So इसीलिए अंडरस्टैंडिंग आने से विश्वास आना है करके जरूरी नहीं. एक चीज को आप समझ रहे हैं लेकिन उसको बिलीव करना उसके लिए तो और भी आगे बढ़ना है. उसके लिए शक्ति चाहिए और वो शक्ति कहां से आते हैं? वो भक्ति से आते हैं. जिसके पास है वो शक्ति वही दे सकते.
Realization.
Not realization is different then. Accepting. Vishwas I am saying.
Faith.
Shraddha and Vishwas.
So, for developing Vishwasa, so Bhagya Udayam is needed. Shakti is needed. But that Vishwas itself is different. This is not Bhakti. So the Nischay is another point of Vishwasa. It is meaning. It's another synonym. That means, so Vishwasa you have, then after that we determine to do that. The determination. So Vishwasa will lead to that. So for doing that activity, particular activity, determinedly, that means without failing. So that determination will be coming from the Vishwasa. But that activity, doing that activity is Bhakti. With the determination we know you do. What we do? We are doing the Shravanam, Kirtanam and glorifying that. That is Bhakti. That means like Dhanavan can do the Yajna. So having Dhana is not the part of the Yajna. You having Dhana, so that's why you are able to purchase everything and you are doing the Yajna. Similarly, Shraddhavan can do the pure devotion. But Shraddha is not the part of the Bhakti. It is a qualification of the person. So that's why this qualification will be only in those people seen who got the Bhagya. That means who got the mercy of the devotees. Pure devotee.
Then Vishwas actually comes.
Vishwasa, only in those people it is possible who got the Bhakya. So after that, they should study the Shastra and understand that Shastra. And when they remove all the doubts actually about the accepting Krishna as person or supreme personality of Godhead, and Bhakti is only the ultimate process. So in accepting that, so whatever the obstacles are there, that's the doubts, when they are removed. And so also one more thing, so accepting and also accepting means believing. So when you accept, that means you are believing. So that is known as Shraddha. So that is the qualification to do steadily bhakti. Pure devotion means what? Anyabhilashta sunya gnana karmadi anavrita Krishna anusellam.
And that acceptance comes from a source by mercy.
Both. Association only will bring the mercy. That means mercy is needed and also studying scriptures also needed. Shraddha definition is Shastrartha Vishwasa. But that Vishwasa, who can get? Yadrichya. Yesterday we were studying. Na? So that means Parama Swatantra Bhakta Sangha Tat Krupa Jata Bhagyodayena. That means who got the some fortune. Maybe I think in today's class we are going to elaborate this. This Shraddha part. So we can provide the recording. So, the impersonal philosophers cannot understand the activities of the Lord. They think that all his activities are Maya. Therefore, they are called Mayavadis. So, because they think Lord is also out of the Maya and his activities also out of the Maya, so that's why they are known as Mayavadis. But the Bhaktas, they are not. Impersonalist means there are also two types, Brahmavadis and the Mayavadis. So, Mayavadi impersonalist, they think like this, but not the Brahmavadi impersonalist. Last sloka. ये तन्महापुण्यमलं पवित्रं धन्यं यशस्यं पदमायुराशिषां प्राणेन्द्रियाणां युधिशैर्यवर्धनं नारायणों ते गतिरङ्ग शृण्वताम्. This most sacred narrative confers extraordinary merit, wealth, fame, longevity, and all the objects of one's desire. On the field of battle, it promotes the strength of one's vital organs and organs of action. One who listens to it at the last moment of his life is transferred to the supreme abode of the Lord, O dear Sanaka. So, if we practice of hearing these Krishna Kathas, Mama Virya Samvido. So Bhavanti Utkarna Rasayana. Then Tadjoshana Dasha Apvargavatmani Shraddharatir Bhakti Anukramishit. So if we hear this glorious past tense of the Lord, one definitely will develop this Shraddha, Rati and Bhakti. Prema. Bhakti means prema here. Devotees are generally attracted by the narratives of the past tense of the Lord, and even though they don't prosecute austerities of meditation, this very process of hearing attentively about the past tense of the Lord will endow them with the innumerable benefits such as wealth. These are the side effects, but main thing what Shraddha will come. That means faith will be developed. So second is Rati, not only faith, that is faith only developing is happening, but by doing that, purification also will happen. And also taste also is coming. That means Kshuddha Tushti, Pushti, Kshuddha all these three things simultaneously happening. So Tushti, Pushti, Kshuddha and also Shraddha. Shraddha also will be developed. And apart from this, some material benefits also will be coming. Then who will not hear the past tense of the Lord? Only Naretaram means the one who is not human being, he only will not hear. Like that is scolded in the previous chapters. Who is not a human being, he will hear. So if one continues to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of narratives of the fastness of the Lord at the end of this life, one is sure to be transferred to the eternal transcendental abode of the Lord. Thus, hearers are benefited both ultimately and for as long as they are in the material world. That is the supreme sublime result of engaging in devotional service. The beginning of devotional service is to spare some time and listen to Srimad Bhagavatam from the right source. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommended 5 items of devotional service, namely to serve the devotees of the Lord, to chant Hare Krishna, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, to worship the deity of the Lord, and to live in a place of pilgrimage. Just performing these 5 activities can deliver one of the measurable condition of material life. These 5 actually, which are out of 64 limbs of angas, that means Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, these are 5 are the very, very important. Twice it is repeated in that actually. So that means after explaining 64 once again separately, these 5 explained actually. That means Rupa Goswami also felt even if anyone does anumatram of this, they'll be getting a lot of benefit. And this way, these 5 which are already implemented in our day-to-day devotional life, Prabhupada has given all these 5 in our system. So thus end the Bhakti and the purports of the 3rd canto, 19th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Killing of the Demon Hiranyaksha. Srila Prabhupada ki. I will do. Like that we will do. Another half an hour will take it.
Everybody have to give up job.
No problem. Some are feeling urgency, they left out.
Really?